Chapter 1704. What kind of realm was the Eternal Realm? Not many people could describe it clearly. Some people guessed that it was the realm where they could create everything. They could create and destroy everything with a flick of their fingers. They were omnipotent existences. Others guessed that it was an extreme realm where they could die from a single drop of blood. They were existences that couldn't be killed even after 100 deaths. There were all kinds of guesses, but one thing was certain. The Eternal God's unimaginable power was beyond everyone's imagination. Just from the appearance of Jiang Shihuang and Ling Taichu, one could tell how terrifying their destructive power was. Jiang Shihuang had entered the Eternal Realm. He knew how difficult it was to enter this realm. Not only did it require exceptional talents, comprehension, and reliance, but it also required absolute luck. If the first three conditions were met, no matter what, it would be impossible to become the Eternal God. The last condition, luck, was the most important one. Jiang Shihuang had entered the black hole space at the end of the universe with the determination to die. After experiencing a narrow escape, he had fused with the black hole space and reached the Eternal Realm. Jiang Shihuang had completely controlled the black hole space and became the master of it. Thus, he became the real Eternal God. In other words, whoever could create their own world space could become the foundation of the Eternal God. This world of space wasn't the power of the world created by the Celestial Masters or the power of the universe created by the God Kings or the incipient God Realm experts. It was the real world that had fused with another world of space to create a real world. Therefore, Ling Zhao's sudden appearance of the chaotic world shocked Jiang Shihuang to the core. If this continued, Ling Zhao would become the Eternal God in the future. If he didn't kill Ling Zhao today, the Kim people would have two Eternal Gods in the future. It would be a disaster for the demonic tiger tribe. Jiang Shihuang's power condensed once again. His strength increased by more than twofold. That demonic palm became incomparably huge. That boundless power was enough to destroy any stars. Any pinnacle supreme beings would probably be annihilated by this palm, and even their souls wouldn't be left behind. Ling Zhao felt the terror of this attack. He didn't defend passively. He wanted to counterattack. If you want to kill me, you'll have to pay the price. Ling Zhao roared as he focused his spiritual will on the primal world. Immediately, the primal energy started to boil. The chaotic energy quickly condensed, and an incomparably ferocious chaotic dragon rushed out. It was filled with the power to destroy the world, and its might was not inferior to Jiang Shihuang's demonic palm. Boom, boom, boom. World-destroying power blasted wildly, causing many spaces to explode. Black Demon and Chaotic Thunder Dragon, who were not far away, were sent flying far away. The Black Demon's body cracked, and even his head was in danger. The Chaotic Lightning Dragon was not much better off. Dragon scales fell off one by one, and its flesh became a bloody mess. Blood flowed continuously, and the Chaotic Lightning Dragon roared in pain. This kid can actually fight against the Diablo King. Is he really going to become an Eternal God? Black Demon thought to himself as he quickly healed his injuries. He wanted to leave immediately. He was afraid that if Ling Zhao was really fine, then it would be his death. However, he was very unwilling. It was rare for the Eternal God to make a move. As long as he understood the mystery, he would definitely be able to take that step. Originally, he wanted to ask Jiang Shihuang about the mystery, but Jiang Shihuang kept it to himself. Black Demon was somewhat resentful. He knew that he was the only one who could do it. After hesitating for a while, he decided to sense how this world was formed. The power of Jiang Shihuang's doppelganger attack was naturally not as terrifying as his real body, but its power was still terrifying. As for Ling Zhao, he had a new feeling after activating the primal world. He discovered that after his spiritual will entered the primal world, he seemed to have become one with the primal world. He could control the primal energy at will, and it was not as rusty as before. The demonic palm and the chaotic true dragon clashed, and in the end, the two forces canceled each other out. Ling Zhao was sent flying hundreds of thousands of miles away, but nothing happened to him. Everything was within his endurance range. The primal world can actually block the attack of the Eternal God, There is hope, Ling Xiao said with incomparable joy. Just now, he almost gave up all hope, but now he saw hope again. Brat, let's see how many attacks you can withstand. Jiang Xiaowang's voice rang out again, and another demonic palm slapped down from the sky. The demonic palm was like the sky. Its might was unparalleled, and its corrosive power was enough to annihilate any living creature. Ling Xiao and this primal world have a kind of compatibility. He felt that he has already truly grasped one of the mysteries of this primal world. His fist danced, the power of the primal world converged into a dragon fist, and once again roared out. With another explosion, Ling Xiao was once again sent flying. This time he suffered some injuries and spat out a mouthful of blood, but he was still able to withstand Jiang Xiaowang's attack. Jiang Xiaowang was extremely angry, and he continuously slapped several times. Ling Xiao also faced the sky and blasted out a few punches, each punch containing a primal chaos true dragon's roar. Ling Xiao felt dizzy from the impact, and his internal organs were in turmoil. His divine power had already been exhausted. If Jiang Xiaowang attacked him again, he might really not be able to withstand it. It's over. This world doesn't need too many Eternals. Jiang Xiaowang already knew that Ling Xiao was at the end of his life, and he faintly said, and his demonic palm once again flipped. Just when Ling Xiao was about to receive another palm strike, the power of the demonic palm actually automatically dissipated. Bastard! My avatar's divine sense power can't hold on any longer. Jiang Xiaowang's demonic face gradually disappeared, and the demonic cloud drifted away. Then, he looked at Ling Xiao and shouted, "Little bastard, just you wait for my real body to come and destroy you. I will eliminate all future troubles." As soon as he finished this sentence, the avatar's divine sense power completely disappeared from this world. Ling Xiao heaved a heavy sigh of relief. If Jiang Xiaowang's power could withstand 2 more blows, he would definitely be dead. Black Demon was shocked, and without thinking, he immediately fled again. However, how could Ling Xiao, who had become more compatible with the primal chaos world, let him leave? Today, you won't be able to escape even if you fly to the heavens or hide in the earth. Ling Xiao roared at Black Demon, and his body was surrounded by primal chaos chi. The ancient emperor divine technique circulated rapidly, and his injuries healed quickly. He struck out with the primal chaos dragon fist, and a primal chaos true dragon rushed towards Black Demon in the distance. Black Demon was scared out of his wits, and a dozen puppets appeared behind him, blocking Ling Xiao's terrifying attack for him. Under the primal chaos dragon fist, these puppets were like tofu dregs, and the remaining energy sent Black Demon flying far away. His injuries worsened again. Black Demon ran for his life, burning his blood essence to shake off Ling Xiao's pursuit. Tai Chi sealing destruction. Ling Xiao once again sealed a large area of space, slowing Black Demon down. 2 heavenly jewels accompanied by primal chaos energy attacked. The power of this attack had reached an incomparably terrifying level, exceeding the power of any incipient God realm expert. No! Black Demon's pupils shrank as he faced this powerful attack, and he screamed in fright. In the end, he couldn't escape the fate of being hit. Rumble! Black Demon's body exploded like fireworks. The old patriarch of the Demon Tiger tribe, who used to be one of the top 3 existences on the sovereign list, was killed just like that. Ling Xiao's divine consciousness had already locked onto that area. His palm absorbed all the fragments and Black Demon's spatial ring. Ling Xiao didn't even have time to look inside his clothes. He found that Black Demon's divine soul had actually attached to the turbulent astral winds and was hurrying to another place. Black Demon also had the thought of being reborn, so he had already concealed all his soul energy. He didn't want to be discovered by Ling Xiao. Unfortunately, Ling Xiao had the Dragon Phoenix Divine hoop on his head. Nothing with soul energy could escape his senses. You want to run? Impossible. Ling Xiao sneered and absorbed Black Demon's divine soul. Black Demon looked terrified, and he begged for mercy. You can't kill me. As long as you spare my life, I can ask the eternal God of my tribe to spare your life. Didn't you notice that your eternal God can't do anything to me? Ling Xiao said coldly. That's because his real body hasn't arrived yet. That's just his divine consciousness clone. You have to understand that the eternal God is the strongest existence in the world. The heaven domain is already under the control of our demon tiger tribe. If you kill me, all of your clansmen will die. Black Demon hurriedly said. Ling Xiao hesitated. He really couldn't contend against Jiang Xiaowang's power. If the demon tiger tribe really controlled the heaven domain, would there still be any hope? However, if he spared Black Demon's life, would he be able to exchange it for the lives of his clansmen? I am the old patriarch of the demon tiger tribe. If you really kill me, your clansmen will definitely die. Spare my life, and I can convince my clan's eternal God to spare your lives. Black Demon said again. Alright, I'll spare your life for now. If you have no value, I'll let you die immediately. Ling Xiao finally spared Black Demon's life. Black Demon was already just a divine soul. In his hands, he wouldn't be able to cause any trouble. Therefore, he wasn't afraid of any accidents happening. Ling Xiao took out a jade bottle and placed the extremely unwilling Black Demon inside. Then, he sealed it with a restriction and temporarily stored him inside the medicinal cauldron. Immediately after, Ling Xiao swallowed some divine pills and rushed to the front of the primal chaos thunder dragon. He fed it a few beast cores and then stored it away. He quickly left this place. The eternal god's speed was extremely terrifying. He was afraid that Jiang Xiaowang would cross the space to chase after him. At that time, he would really lose his life. Indeed, as Ling Xiao fled for a while, the black hole formed by the devilish clouds had appeared in this space. Damn brat! I actually let him escape, Jiang Xiaowang said with extreme unwillingness. The heaven domain was after all too far away from here. Even with his extreme speed, it took him quite a bit of time. He was truly unable to intercept Ling Xiao. Chapter 1705. There were so many outer spaces with so many turbulent flows that were full of dangers. In a space with dense wind turbulence, there was actually a young man who was not affected in the slightest. It should be known that these wind currents were enough to blow away any supreme expert or incipient God realm expert. Eventually, they would lose their way and be trapped here forever or be killed by the wind blades in this place. However, this young man was as calm as usual. He wasn't affected by any wind power in this place. Besides Ling Xiao, who else could this young man be? After Ling Xiao had escaped from the demon tiger space, he came to this space and hid here to hide his aura. He was afraid that the god power of the eternal god was too strong and it would find him. Thus, he hid in this space with the wind currents. He had the storm body technique, so he had adapted to the speed of the wind power. He wouldn't encounter any accidents in this place. Quite the contrary, he could use the wind origin power here to recover his competence and understand the power of the wind one more time. Of course, the most important thing was to recover from his wounds and check the trophies in the Black Demon space ring. Indeed, as he had expected, there was a big dark source stone in the Black Demon space ring. It was the one from the ancestral land of the Demon Tiger clan. Metal, wood, water, fire, earth, wind, lightning, and dark. I'm just missing the light attribute, Ling Xiao said excitedly. As long as he could collect all 9 kinds of Genesis stones, his ancestor could escape. After so many years of hardships, he had finally reached this step. Ling Xiao thought that it wasn't easy at all. Searching for each kind of Genesis stone had made him go through dangerous situations where he had a narrow escape. It wasn't something that ordinary people could do. It was really lucky that he could collect so many Genesis stones. I'm sure the light Genesis stone is in the light space. With my current competence, it won't be a problem to rob it. With the power of my chaos world, it's enough to sweep away any incipient God realm expert. Ling Xiao muttered to himself, paused for a moment, then said, however, if I were to suffer the joint attack of those birdmen at the same time, I'm afraid I won't be able to handle it. I definitely don't have any puppets to help me restrain the attacks of the others, and besides, the Wing clan is not weaker than the Devil Tiger clan. They are not like the Devil Tiger clan, they have already left, which gives me an opportunity to take advantage of. Looks like I have to make a trip back to the heavenly realm first before making a plan. I hope that the clansmen are fine, and they are also fine otherwise. No matter what kind of god you are, there will be a day when I will tear your body into pieces. Ling Xiao was incomparably worried. The eternal god was too terrifying, and if he was in the heaven domain, it was possible that the heaven domain would really be ruled by him. As for whether or not the Jin clan had been annihilated and whether or not his family had been killed, that was what he was most worried about. Ling Xiao stayed in the space of wind for about a month. During this period of time, he had recovered the power of his divine soul, as well as the damage to his physical body. His strength had once again returned to its peak state. Although the primal chaos thunder dragon was heavily injured, it recovered relatively quickly. In a month's time, it had also recovered to its original state. It originally wanted to swallow the dragon pearl that it had seized from the black dragon, but it was stopped by Ling Xiao and kept it. Every single dragon pearl was incomparably difficult to find. Even among the dragons, there wouldn't be many of them. With such a dragon pearl, he could cultivate another true dragon mythological beast. Ever since the ancient times, divine beasts had become extremely rare, and it was very difficult to see them appear in this world. However, Ling Xiao had obtained dragon pearls one after another and nurtured a true dragon divine beast. He was definitely an emperor of destiny who possessed a heavenly opportunity. On this day, Ling Xiao felt that the eternal god should not have chased him here, so he changed his route and returned to the southern region, flying towards the direction of the heavenly realm. Ling Xiao's heart was burning with anxiety. This was the first time he was so anxious to hurry on the road. Ling Xiao urged the primal chaos thunder dragon to impact the spatial barrier, shuttling non-stop. Even if it encountered some unknown dangerous spatial zones, in order to shorten the distance, he still continued to let the primal chaos thunder dragon rush in for no reason. Ling Xiao brought out the chaos world, enveloping him and the primal chaos thunder dragon inside. All the dangers of the spatial zones were insignificant to him. The plunderers that they encountered along the way all avoided as far as possible. Even if there were some bold plunderers who wanted to intercept halfway, they were mercilessly insta-killed by Ling Xiao. When Ling Xiao rushed back to the heavenly realm, there were already all sorts of shocking changes in the heavenly realm. First, the Heaven Tiger Domain's forces, big and small, submitted to the Devil Tiger clan. The Heaven Tiger Domain was completely unified. From then on, everything in the Heaven Tiger Domain was ruled by the Devil Tiger clan. In addition, the Tianyuan Domain's Medicine Guild was also captured by the Devil Tiger clan. Many major forces in the Tianyuan Domain were annihilated, and the other forces were forced to submit to the Devil Tiger clan. In an instant, the Devil Tiger clan's momentum was vast and mighty, and there were signs of them unifying the heavenly realm. Immediately after, the Devil Tiger clan's eternal god came into being and descended upon the Sky Dragon Domain. He slaughtered his way to the Dragon Gate and almost obliterated everyone in the Dragon Gate. Almost all the humans and beasts that lived near the Sky Dragon City were wiped out, and the Sky Dragon Domain suffered serious damage. This matter shocked all over the heavenly realm, causing everyone to feel insecure. Later, there were rumors that an invincible existence on the sovereign list of the Kim people had also become an eternal god. He forced the Devil Tiger clan's eternal god to retreat, and only then did he save the Kim people and the rest of the Dragon Gate. At the same time, two eternal gods appeared. This was definitely the most shocking thing in a million years. It was also the appearance of this eternal god of the Kim people that brought good news to the other domains, and prevented the Devil Tiger clan's eternal god from devouring the gospel of the other domains. Many forces of the Sky Dragon Domain sent people to the Kim people, expressing their willingness to respect the Kim people, and sent a lot of sacred and divine objects to help the Kim people rebuild the Dragon Gate. They knew that only the eternal god of the Kim people could protect them from being devoured by the Devil Tiger clan. Of course, they didn't want the Kim people to devour them, but they hoped that they could coexist peacefully as before and be satisfied. The Kim people were in a mourning period, and they didn't have the time to care about other forces, but they still accepted all the things that they sent. Now that they had suffered too great a loss, they really needed all kinds of material support to rebuild and restore their vitality. In addition to the Kim people's disaster, the Light City flew away for no reason, which was also very surprising. Everyone was guessing whether the winged clan would produce another eternal god. Now, all the forces in the heavenly realm entered the most serious state of alert, and some forces even sealed their sects to avoid the world, hoping to avoid this turmoil. If the two eternal gods of the Devil Tiger clan and the Kim people didn't have a winner, they wouldn't dare to act rashly. In their hearts, they hoped that the Kim people could win. After all, the Devil Tiger clan was notorious, and not many forces wanted to submit to them. They didn't care about the situation of the big forces in the heavenly realm. Today, the Kim people were cleaning up the mess and discussing the future. Deep inside the dragon-gazing mountain range, the Kim people's simple meeting hall was filled with the supreme experts and incipient god realm experts. They looked so sorrowful, their eyes filled with the flame of anger and hatred. On the central seat, a young man who looked to be in his 30s sat. His dragon eyes were bright, his body was handsome, and his aura was extraordinary. Just by sitting there, he had an imposing aura that looked down on all creatures in the world. People couldn't help but want to worship him. More than 10 supreme experts and incipient god realm experts of the Kim people were looking at that young man. Who could have thought that such a young man could be a super expert at incipient god realm, the real eternal god realm? When the eternal god realm appeared, who could compete with him? It was a legend that was spread everywhere in the heaven territory. At the same time, the eternal god realm had stirred up many supreme experts and incipient god realm experts. They had a higher realm to pursue. They hoped that they could become the eternal god one day. Ling Qiu, Ling Yong, Ling Fengming, and the other kids are all dead. Tai Chu ancestor, we have to take revenge for this, Chief Ling Bo said with an incomparably sorrowful face. In this battle, most of the supreme experts and incipient god realm experts of the Kim people were killed. It had destroyed 2/3 of their foundation. If Ling Taichu hadn't reached the eternal realm, they would have become a race in history. Yeah, forefather, we should attack the Devil Tiger clan. Even if we have to risk our lives against them, we have to take revenge for them, said another warrior indignantly. We must destroy the Devil Tiger clan. Otherwise, we will regret the lives of my son and all the disciples of the Dragon Gate. Tai Chu ancestor, please help us. Tai Chu ancestor can only resist the eternal god alone. Today, the Devil Tiger clan is so strong. How can we resist them with our little force? We can't rush this. Many supreme experts and incipient god realm experts of the Kim people expressed their opinions. Most of them wanted to attack the Devil Tiger clan to take revenge for their fellows. I understand your feelings. I'm so sad too. I will take revenge. But not now. I have to settle you guys down first. Then, I can attack the Devil Tiger clan without any worries, said Ling Taichu gloomily. Although he had reached the eternal realm and the immortal god realm, he still had a human heart. He hadn't cut off the 7 emotions and 6 desires. Those who had died were his fellows and many of his descendants. Ling Taichu's heart was filled with murderous intent. However, he couldn't release it because no one present could withstand any of his thoughts. Deji, you don't need to worry about us. As long as you kill all the members of the Devil Tiger clan, it doesn't matter even if we all fall, said Ling Taimeng. Nonsense. You've lived for so many years. Why are you so impulsive? Our clan's foundation and inheritance can't be broken. I must kill all the members of the Devil Tiger clan, but I alone am enough. You guys don't need to risk your lives. Ling Taichu snorted. Then his eyes raked through the crowd. Uncle Hongyu, where's Wudi? Could it be that they've already fallen? Ancestor Taichu, Ancestor Hongyu is still alive, but his condition isn't very good. As for Uncle Wudi, he hasn't returned for many years. Ling Bo said. What happened to Uncle Hongyu? Take me to see him. Ling Taichu was a little bit nervous. Among the Kim people, Ling Hongyu was the most respected forefather. Chapter 1706. Ling Bo told Ling Taichu about Ling Hongyu's current state. What? Uncle is so muddle-headed that he's willing to protect the ancestral land. Ling Taichu exclaimed. Big brother, you know that uncle is very sentimental. He once wanted us Kim people to move back to our ancestral land. If not for the fact that we don't want to go back, we wouldn't have waited until today. I'm afraid we would have returned to our ancestral land long ago. It's understandable that he's willing to protect our ancestral land, Ling Taichu said. Looks like I'll have to make a trip there and save Uncle. Perhaps he's the one with the highest chance of becoming another eternal immortal. At that time, with 2 eternal immortals in our clan, annihilating the Demon Tiger clan would be a piece of cake, Ling Taichu said confidently. When he was growing up, his clan uncle Ling Hongyu had taught him many things. That was how he had become the Gold Clan's genius and climbed to the top. He knew that his ancestors' talent and comprehension were definitely above his. If it wasn't for the fact that his ancestor had too many distracting thoughts, he might have become an eternal god. Therefore, he wanted to find Ling Hongyu and pass on his experience of becoming an eternal god to him. That way, he would definitely be able to create another eternal god. Is it really possible? All the supreme martial artists of the Kim people became extremely excited. Their eyes were filled with hope. It should be possible. But, to become an eternal being, one must put himself in a desperate situation. It's a nirvana process that's extremely dangerous. The slightest carelessness will cause one's soul to dissipate. Although Ling Taichu was confident in Ling Hongyu, he also knew how difficult it was to reach the same realm as him. Everyone present fell silent once more. Since Uncle is in the ancestral land, I'll escort you there first. Then, I'll kill my way to the Devil Tiger clan without any worries. I'll make sure that even chickens and dogs don't have peace. Ling Taichu made a decision. His dragon eyes were slightly raised, and his 2 dragon eyes were like the birth of a true dragon, causing everyone present to be extremely shocked. It's up to old ancestor Taichu. No one present would raise any objections. Ling Xiao traveled at top speed. He estimated that he would only need a few more days to reach the heaven domain. His heart was burning with anxiety. He didn't want to waste even a second to rest, so he urged the Chaos Thunder Dragon to continue flying at full speed. However, at this moment, a group of people charged over from the other side of the sky. The auras of this group of people were extremely powerful. Every single supreme being was riding on a terrifying 11th-ranked sacred beast. There were mutated types, and there were also bloodline types that had been passed down from the primordial era. Every single one of them was incomparably valiant. Beastly roars reverberated in all directions. This pair of people were obviously heading in the same direction as Ling Xiao, towards the heaven region. Ling Xiao had discovered them, and they had also discovered Ling Xiao's existence. What a strong group of gang members! Ling Xiao's heart skipped a beat. Shi Yan had met so many pirates. Most of them were at the incipient god realm, but they weren't really strong. Sometimes he met some high-level or peak existences, but they were pirates from some gangs. However, this group of pirates in front of him was full of energy. Their sacred beasts were ferocious. There were more than 150 of them, which could be compared to some overlord forces. Among these people, Ling Xiao could sense that 5 of them had already reached the pinnacle supreme being level. He didn't know where this force came from. If they wanted to rob him, he would have to run away. What a mighty true dragon divine beast. Is that a Chaos Thunder Dragon? It can trigger the power of the primordial heavenly lightning. I can't believe someone could have such a divine beast. It's a good opportunity indeed. One of the 5 people in the front complimented. That's right, mythological beasts rarely appear in 10,000 years. Not just anyone can subdue them. Big Brother Alliance Master once said that his clan has a true dragon protecting them, but he has never been able to obtain one. This shows how arrogant mythological beasts are. Another person echoed. That boy looks very young, but I don't know where he came from. He actually dared to ride a true dragon mythological beast so brazenly. Isn't he afraid of being robbed by others? Perhaps he thinks that no one dares to deal with him because he has the prestige of a divine beast. Many of the people in the group who were rushing over were pointing at them and whispering. Their eyes were filled with jealousy and jealousy. However, no one dared to attack Ling Xiao. As Ling Xiao saw that they didn't want to attack him, he didn't make it difficult for them. However, The Chaos Thunder Dragon was the strongest divine beast, so it couldn't stand their advice. It roared immediately. Roar! The terrifying dragon roar echoed. The Supreme Emperor's prestige expanded in this area. It made the holy beasts in the front panic-stricken. The commotion of the holy beasts scared the incipient god realm experts sitting on their backs. This dragon roar didn't contain any murderous aura. It just had the thick emperor's prestige. It didn't hurt the holy beasts or the supreme experts. They were just frightened. However, it gave the people in this group a reason to make a fuss. The asterisk starred. He dares to scare us. He doesn't put us in his eyes, shouted a middle-aged man in purple, his face dark and sinister. He was riding a purple thunder lion holy beast with a three-pronged divine weapon in his hand. He looked so fierce and extraordinary. He pointed at Ling Xiao, exuding a strong sense of anger, as if he was challenging Ling Xiao to a duel. I don't know if he's from the Thunder Clan. If so, we should capture him, said an old man in green next to the purple-clothed man. Hegemon, what do you think? Asked the purple-clothed man, who was sitting on a single-horned desolate species holy beast, a golden-scaled serpent. This man's blonde hair fluttered in the wind. His eyes were like lightning, and his skin was like gold. His bare arms were filled with explosive power. Vaguely, small dragons could be seen swimming on his arms. He was lying lazily on the holy beast's head with an evil aura. The golden-haired man glanced at Ling Xiao and the chaotic thunder dragon with a strange look in his eyes. Go! Be careful! The blonde man said softly. The purple-clothed man rode a purple thunder lion forward and shouted at Ling Xiao. Brat, your thunder dragon scared us just now. Aren't you going to give us an explanation? Ling Xiao cupped his hands and said, I didn't mean to offend you. I'm sorry. Ling Xiao didn't want to cause trouble, so he humbled himself. Ling Xiao would never provoke others, but if others provoked him, he wouldn't let them have it easy. Is this your attitude? The purple-clothed man asked playfully. What else do you want? Are you trying to bully me with numbers? Ling Xiao frowned. Don't treat us like marauders. How about this? I'll give you a chance. First, surrender to us and join our camp. Second, leave this Chaos Thunder Dragon for me to ride and I'll let you go. What do you think? The purple-clothed man said rather domineeringly. Ling Xiao frowned and said in a low voice, Don't ask for trouble. Ling Xiao could feel that this purple-clothed man was a very powerful person. He didn't seem to be weaker than the chief of the Thunder Clan. This kind of person was just someone else's subordinate. It showed how heroic his hegemon brother was. However, what kind of person was Ling Xiao? He had comprehended the attacks of the chaotic world. In the incipient god realm, he didn't have many opponents. Thus, although these people were strong, they weren't enough to make him flee in panic. Moreover, this place was very close to the heaven area. Usually, no other forces would come here. He wanted to know if these people were heading for the heaven area or not. At the same time, he had a special feeling towards the golden-haired man who was the leader, and the blood in his body started to boil. The purple-clothed man was enraged by Ling Xiao's attitude. He used his peak power to challenge this kid. It wasn't because he thought highly of this kid, but because he thought highly of the Chaos Thunder Dragon. Otherwise, he could have just sent one person to deal with this kid. However, this kid was so arrogant. He dared to say such disdainful words. It seemed like it had been many years since someone dared to talk to him like that. You've got guts. Today, I will teach you a lesson. The purple-clothed man shouted and wanted to deal with Ling Xiao. However, at this time, two old men at the late stage of the Supreme Realm flew out. One of them said, Deputy Hegemon, let us deal with this kid. He's not worth your time. That's right. Although his Chaos Thunder Dragon is powerful, the two of us should be enough to deal with it. The other man agreed. No, you don't understand the power of the Chaos Thunder Dragon. This rare divine beast might come from the Chaos Thunder area. I'm afraid you can't bear the power of the Chaos Thunder. The purple-clothed man refused. Just as he was about to attack, Ling Xiao couldn't be bothered with them anymore. He ordered the Chaos Thunder Dragon to leave. He didn't want to waste any more time in case something happened in the heaven realm. Want to leave? It's not that easy. One of the late-stage Supreme Being discovered it. After letting out a cry of alarm, he rode his holy beast and charged over. The other person also caught up from behind. The two of them, two saints, attacked Ling Xiao and the chaotic thunder dragon together. The two of them had water and wood attributes respectively. One was blue and the other was green. They attacked with their palms and legs, forming a joint attack that shrouded the top of Ling Xiao's head. At the same time, the holy beasts under them also spat out terrifying attacks at the Chaos Thunder Dragon. If you want to die, I will grant you your wish. Ling Xiao's eyes turned cold. He shouted and patted the Chaos Thunder Dragon's forehead to send a signal to attack. Roar! The Chaos Thunder Dragon turned around and roared. The terrifying sound waves rushed toward the two men and their holy beasts. Many spaces immediately collapsed. The powerful sound waves were enough to shatter several cities and explode the boundless ocean. The two Supreme Realm men and their holy beasts were prepared. However, when faced with the sound waves, all their defenses were useless. Their attacks were directly shattered by the sound waves. More than half of the aftermath rushed toward them. Chapter 1707. The dragon roar shook tens of thousands of miles. The two high-level Supreme Beings and their holy beasts were shocked mercilessly. The two humans and their holy beasts retreated, bleeding from their 7 facial orifices. Roar! Another invisible, terrifying sound wave reverberated. Surprisingly, it was the roar of the purple thunder lion that the purple-robed man was riding. The sound wave had neutralized the aftermath of the dragon roar. At the same time, the purple-robed man pulled the two high-level Supreme Beings back. Otherwise, they would have been killed directly. I told you that this isn't something you can block. Back off. Wait for me to take down this Chaos Thunder Dragon myself. The purple-robed man shouted in fear. Purple lightning coiled around his trident as he slashed it toward Ling Xiao and the Chaos Thunder Dragon. The purple-robed man swung the trident casually. Several purple thunder lions appeared and dashed toward Ling Xiao and the Chaos Thunder Dragon. Each of these purple thunder lions contained the endless power of thunder and lightning. Each of them could destroy a high-level Supreme Being or incipient God Realm expert. They roared and dashed over together. Within tens of thousands of miles, thunder and lightning were wreaking havoc. Ling Xiao and the Chaos Thunder Dragon didn't move. They just let the purple thunder lions attack them. Boom! Boom! When this power wreaked havoc on them, a series of deafening explosions rang out. The purple-robed man rode on the purple thunder lion. His face didn't change. He didn't seem surprised or happy that he had hit the lion. When all the purple lightning had completely dissipated, the man and the dragon were still standing there unscathed. This is my apology to you. I have an urgent matter to attend to, so I can't waste time with you. If you don't know what's good for you, don't blame me for not showing mercy. Ling Xiao said faintly and prepared to leave again. Trying to act mysterious? Do you think you can escape? The purple-robed man snorted coldly. He pointed his trident to the sky. Thunder and lightning fell like a storm, wrapping around Ling Xiao and the Chaos Thunder Dragon. This time, the thunder and lightning were like a sea of thunder. The momentum was immense and the power was so terrifying that it could defeat any Supreme Being at the same level. Since you don't know what's good for you, I'll kill you. Ling Xiao wasn't in a good mood. He didn't want to cause any trouble. However, the other party kept pestering him. Receiving Ling Xiao's instructions, the chaotic lightning dragon roared once again. Streaks of chaotic lightning flashed and actually assimilated the heavenly lightning summoned by the purple-robed man. Moreover, the chaotic lightning dragon roared at the purple-robed man and spat out a pillar of chaotic heavenly lightning. The destructive power contained in the pillar of chaotic heavenly lightning was terrifying. The purple-robed man did not retreat. He merely snorted coldly. A purple round shield had appeared in his hand out of nowhere, and he blocked the chaotic heavenly lightning. The purple-robed man didn't retreat. He took out a purple shield and blocked it. What a powerful chaotic thunder dragon! It actually forced me to retreat. It's just right for me to protect it. The purple-robed men Warren. He didn't attack on the chaos thunder of the supreme being of dragon of. The purple-robed man's target was not the chaos thunder dragon, but Ling Xiao, who was on its back. You don't deserve it with your strength. Get down here, the purple-robed man shouted. The trident was like a dragon as it stabbed towards Ling Xiao. The purple thunder lion cooperated with him. It pounced at the chaotic thunder dragon to divert its attention. However, the primal chaos thunder dragon was the strongest divine beast in the world. How could the purple thunder lion possibly restrain it? Its dragon body rose up, and its two dragon claws clawed out. At the same time, it attracted a lot of chaotic lightning to descend, attacking the purple-robed man and the purple thunder lion. Chaos heavenly lightning fell from the sky, filled with destructive chaos heavenly lightning. It was incomparably terrifying. The purple-robed man's expression changed slightly in the face of such pressure. He held the purple round shield in his hand and hurriedly blocked the chaos heavenly lightning. He dodged the dragon claw and continued to chase after Ling Xiao with the trident. The purple thunder lion, on the other hand, forcefully withstood the chaotic heavenly lightning. Its skin and flesh split open, and blood flowed wildly. It let out miserable cries again and again. Reverse time and loss, the purple-robed man shouted. The heavenly lightning on the trident flowed like a flood. It rushed towards Ling Xiao, who was on the dragon's head, at a terrifying speed. The chaotic heavenly lightning contained a dense amount of divine power. It was enough to break through the chaotic thunder dragon's defensive barrier. The chaotic thunder dragon's body was enormous. When it got close, its mobility was naturally inferior to the purple-robed man. It repelled the purple thunder lion, but it could not stop the purple-robed man. Just as the terrifying power of the thunderbolt rushed towards Ling Xiao transformed into a gust of wind and shot up into the sky in an instant, dodging the opponent's attack. At the same time, the purple-robed man was enraged. He could no longer endure. He immediately summoned his soul avatar and charged towards the purple-robed man. The purple-robed man wanted to chase after Ling Xiao, but he was intercepted by Ling Xiao's soul avatar. The purple-robed man did not understand what was going on. Suddenly, he was bombarded by a flurry of attacks. He did not know what to do, and divine blood flowed out of his body. Who is it? Get the F***ck out here. The purple-robed man clawed wildly. He immediately summoned the terrifying heavenly lightning to his body, turning the surroundings into a sea of lightning. Every bolt of lightning contained the most fundamental power of destruction. He wanted to blast the hidden enemy away. Ling Xiao's soul retreated quickly. He sensed that the power contained in the lightning was not much weaker than the Thunder Clan's old clan leader. It was definitely comparable to the top existences in the Heaven region's sovereign ranking. He did not expect to meet such an opponent. But in front of him, he did not feel any pressure at all. As his soul retreated, the chaotic thunder dragon roared and rushed towards the purple-robed man's sea of lightning. It ignored the heavenly lightning and opened its mouth to devour the purple-robed man. The purple-robed man was shocked. He quickly retreated, but the chaotic thunder dragon chased after him. Seeing that the purple-robed man was about to be devoured by the chaotic thunder dragon, the three supreme beings not far away shouted and rushed over. At the same time, they used their own powerful moves to save the purple-robed man. Spring comes to life. Starlight illuminates the four seas. All rivers run into the sea. Three completely different top-notch forces rushed towards the chaotic thunder dragon. One of the forces contained the power of nature. Like spring comes to life, towering ancient trees appeared. Many green vines coiled around them, forming a prison of heaven and earth. Another force was like falling stars. Each star was like a sea of stars. The scene of falling stars was like a meteor shower. Every star carried supreme power, enough to shake the heavens and the earth. Another force was the roar of the sea. There were peerless tsunamis and huge waves crashing. It was as if the god of the sea had descended. These three forces attacked at the same time, blasting towards the chaotic thunder dragon. They did not want anything to happen to the purple-robed man. The chaos thunder dragon roared again and again. Its dragon body shook the 9 heavens, and its dragon claws tore through the void, forcefully smashing these powers to pieces. Its dragon body twisted and turned, directly smashing even more powers to pieces. Countless chaos heavenly lightning descended, forming a chaos thunder sea, resolving all the dangers. The purple-robed man got help from his 3 companions. They helped him escape from danger, but he looked very embarrassed. His face was full of unwillingness. "Brother Lei, why don't we work together? You can't take down this chaotic thunder dragon alone." A green-robed old man said faintly. Another person echoed, "That's right. This chaotic thunder dragon is already so powerful without showing the power of the Dragon Ball. I'm afraid we're not its match if we fight it alone." "Isn't that so? One chaotic thunder dragon can stop the 4 of us. However, it's still not enough to deal with so many of us. All right, if I don't take down this chaotic thunder dragon and this kid today, I won't be able to vent my anger," the purple-robed man shouted. The 4 supreme beings stood in different directions, ready to kill Ling Xiao and the chaotic thunder dragon together. However, at this time, the golden-haired man lying on the single-horned golden-scaled snake said, "All of you retreat. Even if you work together, you're not their match. Alliance Master, you think too highly of them. Although we're not talented, it shouldn't be a problem to take them down if we work together." The green-robed old man replied confidently, "The chaotic thunder dragon is an invincible existence in the same realm. If it activates the Dragon Ball, the 4 of you will lose without a doubt. Not to mention that there's still a hidden supreme being." The golden-haired man revealed a faint smile. After a pause, he said, "Why don't I fight this little friend? No matter the outcome, I'll let you go." "Alliance Master, isn't this too high of a compliment for this kid?" the green-robed old man said in surprise. The purple-robed man said, "Boss, why do you need to fight? We're enough to crush him." The golden-haired man waved his hand and said, "No, just the chaotic thunder dragon alone is enough for me to pay attention to. Moreover, this little friend is not as simple as you think." After saying that, he rode the golden-scaled snake and rushed out. Then, he looked at Ling Xiao and said, "Little friend, let's fight for a few moves. We won't fight to the death, but we won't overdo it. How about it?" "I don't have that much time." Ling Xiao frowned. Although he felt that the golden-haired man gave him a different feeling, he didn't want to stay here any longer. He just wanted to hurry on with his journey as soon as possible. If the other party continued to pester him, he would no longer show mercy. He would definitely kill them all with the force of a thunderbolt. "Well, I understand how you feel, little friend. I won't hold you back for too long. How about we limit it to 3 moves? After 3 moves, regardless of the outcome, I'll let you go," the golden-haired man said in an extremely easygoing manner. He had a lazy temperament, and there was an indescribable domineering aura between his brows. It gave people a feeling that it was difficult to tell what kind of person his character was. "Okay, I'll accompany you for 3 moves." Ling Xiao hesitated for a moment and said in a deep voice. He also wanted to confirm whether that feeling was true or not. 3 moves would be very fast, and he should be able to see something. "Then, little friend, you make the first move." The golden-haired man's eyes flashed with brilliance as he replied. Faintly, a noble golden aura rose up and gathered into the phantom of a snake and a dragon. Chapter 1708. When the golden-haired man's aura rose, Ling Xiao felt an inexplicable sense of familiarity. "I hope it's as I feel," Ling Xiao thought to himself, and his aura immediately rose. Just as he was about to attack, the golden-haired man said, "Aren't you going to use your powerful doppelganger? With the strength of your real body, you're no match for me." Ling Xiao was slightly shocked. He didn't expect that the golden-haired man had already discovered the location of his divine soul doppelganger. "Whether I'm your match or not, I'll know after I try," Ling Xiao shouted. and his whole body turned into a bright sun. A strong fiery light instantly rose, and the 9 suns sky burning fist blasted towards the golden-haired man. Fire subdued metal. Ling Xiao wanted to use the element subduing to suppress the golden-haired man's strength. Although the golden-haired man's strength had reached the peak of the great perfection realm, he was not afraid to fight with his real body. Fire element? The golden-haired man was slightly surprised, as if he was surprised that Ling Xiao had used an elemental attack. Ling Xiao turned into the son of the sun, and his bright red power was supporting him. 9 suns of different colors filled the space, forming a terrifying aura that enveloped the golden-haired man. The sun fell, and the fist intent was monstrous. Not far away, the man in purple raised his eyebrows slightly and said, "This kid's strength is not bad, but why is he using the Holy Sun Fist? Is he from the Sun sect? But how did he get the recognition of the Chaotic Thunder Dragon? Is he a thunder and fire dual cultivator? With the strength of an advanced level, he can actually exert the strength of the small perfection realm. This kid has a secret method to increase his strength, but it's still not enough to fight against the leader who is already at the small perfection realm." The green-robed old man was very confident in the golden-haired man. Another person chimed in, "That's right. The Alliance Master is able to fight against all of us at the same time. I've never seen him fail before." Sure enough, the golden-haired man did not panic in the slightest in the face of Ling Xiao's all-out attack. He raised a palm, and a golden light suddenly burst out. A square wall that was incomparably sharp and thick appeared in front of him. This sharp metal wall looked as if it was cast from gold. It was resplendent and incomparably thick. At the same time, there was the aura of dragons and snakes revolving around it. It was like the jade seal of an emperor, giving off an incomparably dense sense of imperial pressure. The golden seal stood directly in front of the 9 brilliant suns. No matter how the 9 brilliant suns attacked and burned, they could not destroy or melt the golden seal. "Go," the golden-haired man said softly and pushed his palm forward. The golden seal broke through the 9 suns and charged directly towards Ling Xiao. Golden energy swirled around it, and it was filled with a dense, baleful aura. It was abnormally sturdy, comparable to 100 mountains crashing down at the same time, making Ling Xiao feel a strong sense of oppression. It was just a casual attack from the opponent, but it actually made him feel that he could not resist it. This was an incomparably terrifying opponent. Ling Xiao retreated again and again. He used the storm body technique to the extreme, wanting to avoid this golden seal. However, this golden seal followed him like a shadow, and its speed was no slower than his. It seemed that it wanted to hit him no matter what. Icebound world. Ling Xiao really could not get rid of it. He could not help but roar angrily. An icy aura instantly filled the air, and the sealing intent also appeared. Layers of ice crystals began to form an ice mountain, rapidly freezing the golden seal. The sealing intent sealed the power of origin in the surrounding space, allowing the golden-haired man to temporarily control the golden seal. As the golden seal's speed slowed down, Ling Xiao's glacier fist had already smashed down, and his fist directly hit the golden seal. Bang bang! The powerful fist energy, comparable to a top-grade ancient god artifact, smashed the golden seal into pieces. The group of people in the distance all revealed looks of extreme shock. Obviously, they did not expect that Ling Xiao, with his high-level strength, could actually smash this move of their alliance leader. At the same time, they were extremely astonished that Ling Xiao could use this ice attribute divine power. He was clearly riding a chaotic thunder dragon, but what he struck out were 2 attributes, fire and ice. It was really too strange. "Not bad, you blocked one of my moves. You can continue to attack for the second move." The golden-haired man raised his eyebrows slightly. "Then I won't stand on ceremony." Ling Xiao responded and began to organize the second attack. He was extremely sure that this person in front of him was definitely a top figure at the peak of the Great Perfection Realm. Even if the Thunder Clan leader used all his strength to fight against him, this golden-haired man might still win. This was definitely the strongest peak of the Great Perfection Realm that Ling Xiao had ever seen. As long as you are not at the eternal realm, you will definitely not be a match for me. Ling Xiao thought to himself. The sixth move of the Imperial Dragon Heaven-Slaying Technique, Double Dragon Wind Demon Strike. This move of Ling Xiao's was made with the help of his divine soul doppelganger. This was also to show respect to such a powerful expert. The other party only exchanged 3 moves with him. If he did not use his true strength, it would be too disrespectful to the other party. The Double Dragon Wind Demon Strike, 1 gold and 1 red, intertwined like 2 terrifying true dragon divine beasts roaring out. The incomparably terrifying destructive power rapidly pierced through all the space, and in the blink of an eye, it was in front of the golden-haired man. Using the strength of the doppelganger? Very good. The golden-haired man smiled faintly, and his pupils turned golden. 2 eye techniques burst out from his eyes. These 2 golden rays were like 2 golden dragons, and also like a supreme sharp divine spear. The power contained in them was actually very strong and terrifying. In an instant, the 4 rays of light collided. Rumble, rumble, rumble. A terrifying tremor exploded, and the power was still clashing in mid-air, as if there were 4 true dragons tearing at each other. In the end, the 2 dragon shadows, 1 gold and 1 red, combined into a 2-colored dragon shadow, simultaneously facing off against the 2 golden dragons. When the gold and red merged into one, its power multiplied, and it actually forced back the 2 golden dragons. Moreover, it even forced the 2 golden dragons to retreat. What? It can actually force back the golden pupil divine technique of the boss. The purple-robed man exclaimed. He knew that the golden-haired man's golden pupil divine technique was unparalleled. Even if the golden-haired man did not use his full strength, it was enough to make many peak of the great perfection realm unable to withstand it. However, not only was Ling Xiao able to block it, but he also forced it back. This was indeed very shocking. Even the expressions of the others became very interesting and complicated. The Alliance Master hasn't used his full strength yet. Don't worry, the old man in green said calmly. Sure enough, as soon as he finished speaking, the golden-haired man sneered, and the golden aura on his body surged. The shadow that was like a snake or a dragon became more and more solid, and the power of the golden pupil increased in the blink of an eye. The power of Ling Xiao's finger radiance was instantly suppressed by the other party, and it was quickly rebounded back. So strong. But I can still hold on. Ling Xiao thought to himself, and the ancient emperor divine technique also secretly circulated. His power also increased rapidly, and the power of the finger radiance blocked the power of the golden pupil. The 2 kinds of power intertwined. One time, the power of the 2 golden dragons was retreating, and the other time it was Ling Xiao's power that was retreating. One advanced and the other retreated. This was a repeated stalemate. Increase it again. Ling Xiao could not suppress the other party, so his power had increased by 50 times, and the power of the finger radiance had become even more powerful. The 2-colored dragon shadow became bigger and bigger, and the power of the fire melted gold, and the strong destructive power. Interesting, the golden-haired man thought to himself, and the power of the golden pupil also skyrocketed. Both of them were like bottomless pits, and the power that erupted from them was constantly increasing, causing the power of the collision to constantly expand, and many spatial forces were squeezed and collapsed. Boom! In the end, after reaching a certain limit, the power of these 2 moves exploded again, shaking the surroundings. The aftermath of such a powerful move caused the people not far away to retreat, not wanting to be touched even the slightest bit. When everything disappeared, the 2 people in the 2 directions were still in the same place. They did not take half a step back, nor were they injured at all. This caused the surrounding people to be extremely shocked. Everyone had the same thought in their minds. This kid's clone is actually stronger than his real body. Young friend, your strength is indeed powerful. This move will be a draw. The golden-haired man did not want to continue like this. He smiled faintly and then said, I'll make the first move for the 3rd move. You'd better take it. After the golden-haired man finished speaking, he also gathered his power, as if to give Ling Xiao a buffer time. Please. Ling Xiao was on full alert. He could guess that the golden-haired man's attack would be earth-shattering, and he had to use his divine soul clone to block it with all his might. Well, I'm ready. The golden-haired man responded softly, and the shadow behind him changed from a snake to a real dragon. Golden light flashed, and the power of the dragon was revealed, as if an emperor had descended to the world. He waved his arms, and it was as if there were two golden dragons wrapped around his arms, like two dragons playing with a pearl. At the same time, they rushed out, turning into a shocking power of two dragons coming out of the sea. There was a bright dragon pearl between the two dragons, and it suddenly showed supreme divine power, faintly giving people the feeling that the Dragon King was overflowing with anger. This is the Golden Dragon Fist. Ling Xiao almost screamed. He could feel the terrifying power contained in this fist, which had already far exceeded the power of a peak supreme being. It was as if several peak supreme beings were attacking at the same time, and it was enough to be comparable to the powerful divine will of the eternal God clone. However, this was not enough to shock Ling Xiao. What shocked him the most was that the opponent's cultivation technique was similar to the twin dragon snatching pearl in the golden dragon fist passed down by the Kim people. Although Ling Xiao had not learned the golden dragon fist, he had already understood that this fist technique was extraordinary. It was a fist technique passed down by the Kim people, and only the direct descendants of the Kim people could learn it. The golden-haired man suddenly used this move, and it was unknown whether he did it on purpose, or he was the senior of the Kim people. This was what shocked Ling Xiao the most. However, the opponent attacked him mercilessly, and there was no time for him to think too much. He had no choice but to immediately mobilize all his power to block this move first. Eighth move of the Imperial Dragon Heaven-destroying technique. 5 dragons unite. 5 dragons of different colors roared in the sky, and each dragon contained an indescribably majestic power. Finally, the 5 dragons merged into one, and collided with the 2 golden dragons who were fighting fiercely for the pearl. Chapter 1709. 70 times the power. 5 dragons unite. Its power definitely far exceeded that of an ordinary peak sovereign. It could compete with the top 10 of the sovereign ranking, and it might even be able to defeat them. This was the strongest attack the soul clone could unleash. The 5-colored true dragon and the 2 golden dragons collided, and the space immediately exploded with a devastating explosion. Terrifying light energy shot out in all directions. A group of people nearby retreated tens of thousands of kilometers, not wanting to be affected by these 2 supreme powers. The purple-robed man couldn't help but cry out. Boss used 90% of his strength in this attack. Even I can barely take it. If this brat can take it, then he'll be amazing. That's hard to say. The Alliance Head's attack is powerful, but it doesn't contain any killing intent. Why do I feel like he's testing the brat? That brat is very strange, as if he cultivates several elements at the same time. Does he have the chaotic body? The green-robed man was extremely surprised. Metal, wood, ice, fire. There's also one that doesn't seem to be of the earth attribute. It seems to be of the wind attribute. The 5 elements lack the earth attribute, but he's still able to cultivate it to this level. It's really shocking, and he's even able to tame a divine beast like the chaotic lightning dragon. What a strange brat. Another person sighed. Could it be that he also cultivates the lightning attribute? The 3 dragons tore at each other until the sky darkened, wreaking havoc in this part of the world. The multicolored light was like a gorgeous summer flower, incomparably beautiful. After an unknown amount of time, all of the power disappeared at the same time, but the space continued to tremble. The 2 emperor-like men were invincible existences that had transformed into dragons. They were not injured, and they looked at each other from afar with an incomprehensible look in their eyes. Afterwards, the 2 of them suddenly threw their heads back and laughed loudly. Ha ha! Their maniacal laughter reverberated in the surrounding space, causing the surrounding people to look at each other in dismay. They were all confused, unable to understand what their alliance master and this young man were doing. What's going on with the alliance head and the others? The purple-robed man asked in confusion. The green-robed man replied, "You're asking me, but who am I supposed to ask?" The others didn't step forward to figure it out. They just quietly waited to see what would happen next. Suddenly, Ling Xiao's divine soul returned to his real body. His and the golden-haired man's aura changed, and two golden dragon shadows rose behind them. Roar! Roar! Two loud dragon roars resounded. A golden imperial might filled with nobility soared into the sky. It was an aura filled with imperial might, causing people to have the urge to worship it. The two golden dragons raised their heads high. Their imposing manner was awe-inspiring and exceptionally domineering. It was as if they were real and intimidating. This is the ancient emperor divine art. How did that kid learn it? The purple-clothed man exclaimed with his mouth wide open. The green-robed elder said, "Could this be a junior from the same clan as the Alliance Master? But he's not a pure metal type. I remember now. I think I've seen his portrait on a certain wanted list. His surname seems to be the same as the Alliance Master's." Another peak supreme martial artist suddenly exclaimed. All of a sudden, they seemed to have figured out many things. "Good lad, you should be one of the Kim people's men. Why do you cultivate 5 elements at the same time? What's your name?" The golden-haired man asked with great joy. His words undoubtedly proved that he was one of the Kim people's men. "Lad, your name is Ling Xiao. Are you ancestor Taichu, or the invincible patriarch?" Ling Xiao asked in surprise. Ling Xiao didn't expect to meet one of the Kim people's men here. Moreover, he was their alliance master. He was extremely surprised. With the help of this group of people, they would have a higher chance of defeating the Demon Tiger clan and the Winged Men clan. The reason why Ling Xiao guessed that the golden-haired man was Ling Taichu or Ling Wudi was that in their clan records, apart from ancestor Ling Hongyu, these two were the most famous people on the supreme ranking. The power displayed by this golden-haired man was enough to prove that he was one of the top people on the supreme ranking. I didn't expect that after so many years, there are still people who remember me, Ling Wudi. Congratulations. The golden-haired man looked up to the sky and sighed. This man was Ling Wudi, the famous person on the Kim people's supreme ranking. He was Ling Hongyu's biological grandson. He was 1 generation younger than Ling Taichu. Ever since he started his cultivation, he had been invincible among those of the same cultivation level. He had earned the title of Invincible. Back then, many years after Ling Taichu had personally created the Heaven Realm, he had also followed him to the Outer Realms. It was only when he felt the summoning of the clan altar that he returned to the Heaven Realm with the elite subordinates he had gathered over the years. It was also because of this that he coincidentally met Ling Xiao. It could be said that they got to know each other through a fight. Ling Xiao greets the invincible great ancestor. Ling Xiao bowed with sincerity. He and Ling Wudi shared the same bloodline. They were both descendants of Ling Hongyu. It was only right for him to bow. "Forget it. I didn't expect a monster like you to appear in our clan. You actually cultivate 5 elements at the same time. It's really rare. Although you don't have the chaotic body, your battle strength is comparable to the chaotic body. Very good." Ling Wudi praised with a smile. He paused for a moment and asked, "What happened in the clan? Why did you use blood essence to summon everyone back? Could it be that the clan is in trouble?" "Indeed, something big has happened. We must go back immediately. I will tell you in detail on the way." Ling Xiao's expression became serious. Ling Wudi's expression turned cold. He nodded slightly and said, "All right, whoever dares to touch the Kim people, I, Ling Wudi, will annihilate his entire clan." Ling Wudi restrained his lazy temperament. He instantly looked like an emperor who had descended, possessing the incomparable prestige of a king. Ling Xiao sensed that this ancestor had cultivated some kind of ancient god technique. This pressure made him feel a little suffocated. Ling Xiao joined Ling Wudi's group. Ling Wudi introduced Ling Xiao to his subordinates. Ling Xiao naturally lowered his posture and greeted them one by one. He also apologized to the purple-robed man who had just attacked him. "Kid, Since you are a descendant of the Kim people, you must have cultivated in the Dragon Gate. Have you heard of me, Lei Wanjun? The purple-robed man asked with some arrogance. Ling Xiao was stunned at first. Then he said softly, You are Lei Wanjun, Elder Lei? Who is on the sovereign list with Elder Lao? There were 3 people on the sovereign list in the Kim people, namely Ling Hongyu, Ling Taichu, and Ling Wudi. Outside of the Dragon Gate were Lao Dongsheng and Lei Wanjun. In terms of ranking, Lei Wanjun was above Lao Dongsheng. He had the Thunder God's physique, which was passed down in the Dragon Gate. Ling Xiao had naturally heard of Lei Wanjun's name. However, he did not expect that Lei Wanjun had disappeared for so many years because he was with his ancestor, Ling Wudi. That's me. It seems that there are still legends about me in the Dragon Gate. Lei Wanjun said with some narcissism. Don't be arrogant. Even if they know about you, you still lost to them. The green-robed old man said. Qingming, what do you mean by that? Lei Wanjun shouted angrily. Nothing. I'm just saying that Brother Ling Xiao is quite strong and has the demeanor of a leader. The green-robed old man smiled and changed the topic. Yes, I can't beat the chaotic thunder dragon. If you have the ability, you can fight it. I'm afraid that you'll be killed by the thunder. Lei Wanjun replied. Haha. I'm ashamed of my inferiority. The green-robed old man said shamelessly. Ling Xiao also began to get to know the pinnacle supremes in front of him. They were all people who had followed Ling Wudi to conquer the world. Lei Wanjun, Qingming, they were all deputy leaders of the Gold Supreme Alliance, and Ling Wudi was the leader of the Gold Supreme Alliance. Ling Wudi had been wandering in the outworld all these years. He was a person who was unwilling to be left alone. After many years of wandering, he founded the Gold Supreme Alliance in the depths of the Northern Region Road. He had the ambition to lead an army and become an emperor. Over the years, the Gold Supreme Alliance that he founded had become one of the top forces in the Northern Region Road. Now that the clan was in trouble, he led the top elites of the Gold Supreme Alliance back to the Heaven Realm to help the clan. In fact, there was a reason why he hadn't returned to the Heaven Realm for so many years. Back then, he and his grandfather, Ling Hongyu, had a disagreement over some matters and had a big fight. In a rage, he left the Kim people and swore that he would not return until he reached the Eternal Realm. If it wasn't for the fact that the clan had used the blood essence of the Golden Dragon altar to summon him, he wouldn't have returned. He couldn't let go of what happened in the past. Although he hadn't reached the Eternal Realm, he had already reached the peak. With his strength, he could even defeat his grandfather and ascend to the top of the sovereign list. Naturally, Ling Xiao didn't know about this. He only knew that this was an elder of his clan, and that he was here to help the Kim people. What did you say? The Eternal God has appeared in the demonic Tiger clan. Ling Wudi exclaimed in shock after hearing Ling Xiao's story. The Eternal God only existed in the legends. No one knew if such a realm really existed. Ling Wudi had been pursuing this realm for a long time but had never been able to reach it. He had always regretted it, but now, he heard that someone from the demonic Tiger clan had reached the Eternal God realm ahead of them. It really shocked him. The other members of the Gold Supreme Alliance were equally shocked. It was unbelievable that someone had reached that realm that only existed in the legends. That's right. I fought with his divine sense doppelganger and was almost killed by him. It's too scary. I heard that they've already launched a large-scale attack on the Heaven Realm to unify the Heaven Realm. I had no choice but to return. I hope nothing big has happened to the clan. Ling Xiao said worriedly. Damn it, the Devil Tiger race was the first to reach that realm. They really deserve to die. Ling Wudi cursed unwillingly, and then said, We can't delay any longer. Let's go at full speed. Ling Wudi hadn't returned to the clan for many years, but he had always been concerned about his clan. Now that the clan was in trouble, he couldn't stay calm anymore. Chapter 1710. Ling Xiao, Ling Wudi, and the others hurried back to the Sky Dragon area. When they tore through the sky and entered from the 9 heavens, they saw that the outer area of the Dragon's Gaze mountain range was in a sorry state. There were deep pits that were riddled with holes, numerous dilapidated buildings, and a scene of ruin. This caused their expressions to change greatly. Damn it! Are we late? Ling Wudi was enraged. Ling Xiao was just as impatient. He didn't say a word and rushed down from the sky. Please don't let anything happen to you guys. Ling Xiao prayed inwardly. Kim people had his fellows and Dragon Gate had his close relatives, his parents, his women, his children. He was afraid that something bad would happen to them. If it was true, he didn't know what to do. Ling Xiao landed on the heavenly dragon sect's territory. His divine sense immediately scanned the surrounding 5,000 li. He sensed some people who were still alive. They were gathered together in one place. Perhaps they were the Dragon Gate's disciples. However, they didn't have the aura he was familiar with. When Ling Xiao was about to go to the dragon-gazing mountain range, Ling Wudi also landed. This time, all the supreme incipient god realm experts had landed. The surviving Dragon Gate's disciples looked so frightened. They were afraid that another great enemy had come to attack them. At this moment, a supreme incipient god realm expert stormed out and screamed in fear. "Who are you?" "I'm Ling Xiao." "What happened?" Ling Xiao immediately went to greet him, hissing. That man looked at Ling Xiao and shivered. He said excitedly, Ling Xiao, the god of medicine, you're back." This man was called Li Feng. Dozens of years ago, he had just the half-incipient god realm cultivation base. Later on, when Ling Xiao had become the supreme incipient god realm expert, he had refined many supreme pellets for the Dragon Gate. He was lucky enough to get a supreme god pellet, so he was very grateful to Ling Xiao. Half a year ago, when the Fiend Tiger clan invaded, it was because his strength was low and he did not take part in the great battle. He only protected the juniors below. That allowed him to escape the calamity by sheer luck. Although Ling Xiao was the alchemy god of the Dragon Gate, his time in the Dragon Gate couldn't be considered long. Most of the time, he was out adventuring. Even when he returned to the gate, he rarely had dealings with others, so he wasn't familiar with Li Feng. "It's me. Did the Demon Tiger race do it? What happened to the people of the Medicine God Peak?" Ling Xiao asked as he grabbed Li Feng's shoulder. Ling Xiao was agitated and released his own aura, pressuring Li Feng to the point that he could barely breathe. "Ling Xiao." Ling Wudi's voice rang in Ling Xiao's ears. Only then did Ling Xiao realize that his own aura was overflowing. He quickly restrained it and waited for Li Feng's answer. It's the Demon Tiger race. They're here, the eternal god. Many of our people died." Li Feng recovered his breath and said with incomparable sorrow. Before Li Feng could finish, Ling Xiao's face had already turned incomparably pale. At this moment, Ling Wudi shouted, "Who's there? Show yourself." Ling Xiao immediately turned around and spread out his divine telekinesis, but he didn't find any special aura. "Ancestor Wudi, what did you find?" Ling Xiao looked at Ling Wudi in surprise. Ling Wudi didn't speak. He just stared unblinkingly in front of him, his eyes flashing with intense golden light. He saw an ethereal figure walking in the air in front of him. He looked very young and his whole body exuded a domineering aura. However, when Ling Wudi's divine telekinesis swept over him, he couldn't sense his existence at all. "Who is this? I can't sense his aura." Ling Xiao's heart trembled. Ling Xiao's divine telekinesis was definitely much stronger than anyone else's, but he couldn't sense when this person appeared. He couldn't even sense the slightest fluctuation caused by his flight. It was really strange. If Ling Wudi hadn't seen the figure flying over, he wouldn't have known that the person was already so close to them. "Wudi, you're back," the person said very calmly. Wasn't this person Ling Taichu? Not long ago, he wanted to move all the Kim people to the Shenling continent. But in the end, he didn't do so. After all, the Golden Dragon race couldn't move with their entire race. The Wanglong mountain range suppressed their supreme dragon chi, which could gradually strengthen them. If the Kim people left, wouldn't that leave the Golden Dragon alone? That's why they continued to stay. In addition, there were many forces that wanted to form an alliance with the Red Alliance, so they had to deal with these forces properly and see if they could unite to fight against the Demon Tiger tribe. Currently, the ruins had not been reorganized, and most of the people had already moved to the depths of the Kim people's territory. You Your Uncle Taichu? Ling Wuti looked at Ling Taichu with great surprise. He remembered that Ling Taichu was already a middle-aged man. He didn't expect that after so many years, he would return to his youthful appearance. However, this wasn't what surprised him. After all, there were some divine items in the world that could restore one's youthful appearance. What surprised him the most was that Ling Taichu's aura was so strong that even he couldn't sense it. It was as if his life force had been completely concealed. If he hadn't seen Ling Taichu's figure in front of him and suddenly appeared behind him, he wouldn't have sensed it at all. If Ling Taichu was an enemy, he would definitely be killed in an instant. Well, it's good that you came back at this time. Are these your friends behind you? Ling Taichu said calmly, then pointed at the people that Ling Wuti brought back. Yes, they are my allies. I received the summons from the tribe and immediately came back from the faraway North Domain. Unfortunately, I was too late. How are my clansmen? Ling Wuti said with great self-blame. Thank you. Many of them died, but some are still alive. If I hadn't come back earlier, I'm afraid that they would have killed my clansmen. Now that you've come back, I'm worried about how to deal with them, Ling Taichu said. He paused for a moment and then added, Let's go back to the tribe first and talk about it. All right, I'll kill the demon tiger tribe. Ling Wuti clenched his fists and shouted angrily. At this time, a few supreme masters of the Kim people flew out. They were also alarmed by the aura of Ling Xiao and Ling Wuti. Wuti, Xiao why did you come back together? Ling Taimeng shouted in surprise. That's great. Ancestor Wuti and Xiao with your return, we, the Kim people, can take revenge on the demon tiger tribe. Ling Bo said softly. Ever since the calamity befell the Jin clan, every one of them had been living in grief and indignation. Now that they saw the return of their powerful clansmen, they finally felt a little happy in their hearts. Ancestor Tai Meng, Patriarch. Ling Xiao stepped forward and bowed in greeting. Then he asked impatiently, How are the people on Herb Peak? Ling Xiao was most eager to know the news of his close relatives. Little Xiao, you don't have to worry. They are all fine. Ling Bo hurriedly replied. Ling Xiao could finally heave a sigh of relief. If anything happened to them, he was afraid that he would really go crazy. Come, Xiao this is Ancestor Taichu. Come and greet him. Ling Bo took Ling Xiao's hand and introduced Ling Xiao to Ling Taimu. Ling Xiao immediately bowed and said, Greetings, Ancestor Taichu. He really didn't expect that this unfathomable person in front of him was one of the ancestors of the Kim people. And from his tone, it was obvious that he was an existence that could fight against the eternal god of the demon tiger tribe. One could imagine the extent of this ancestor's strength. You are Ling Xiao, very good, very good. Ling Taimu's eyes fell on Ling Xiao and said with some satisfaction. Among all the juniors in the tribe, only Ling Xiao in front of him could be compared to him. The others weren't good enough. Moreover, he had heard Ling Taimeng and Ling Bo talk about Ling Xiao many times. A supreme incipient god realm expert who wasn't even 300 years old was a peerless genius. Thank you, Ancestor, for your compliment, Ling Xiao said humbly. They didn't continue to talk but returned to the tribe's land. On the way, Ling Xiao listened to Ling Bo talk about the events that had happened half a year ago. He knew that Lao Dongsheng, Ling Fei, and many other supreme incipient god realm experts had fallen. They were all killed by the eternal god of the demon tiger tribe. Today, less than 1/5 of the Dragon Gate had survived. 2/3 of the supreme experts of the Kim people had fallen. It was lucky that the juniors didn't join the battle. They didn't die in that battle. Ling Xiao was enraged. He couldn't believe that Lao Dongsheng, a warrior on the legendary list, was killed. His brother, Ling Fei, was also killed. Ling Xiao wanted to shout, but someone else cursed before him. Damn it! Old Luo is dead. How could he leave before me? Damn the demon tiger tribe. I can't live under the same sky with them. The angry one was Lei Wanjun. He and Luo Dongsheng had been friends for many years. They had fought their way to the legendary list. They had protected the Dragon Gate together. However, his fellow apprentice brother had actually died. This caused him to be extremely sorrowful. Qing Ming comforted him. "Brother, don't be sad. I will take revenge with you. Sai, the eternal God is so terrifying. He can kill all of us by himself. What can we do to resist him?" Lei Wanjun sighed dispiritedly. "Don't worry. My big brother can deal with him," Ling Taimeng said. He paused for a while and then added, "My big brother came back and forced him to retreat. If he hadn't run away fast, my big brother would have killed him." "What?" Lei Wanjun, Qing Ming, and the others stared at Ling Taichu in shock. "Uncle Taimu, you're still ahead of me." Ling Wudi forced a smile. He had been chasing after the Eternal Realm, but he couldn't get it. Now, hearing that his uncle had reached the Eternal Realm before him, he felt proud for his uncle and mocked himself. "All right, where's the old man? How is he?" Ling Wudi paused for a while and then asked about his grandfather. He was anxious. Chapter 1711. Ling Wudi and his grandfather quarreled and left Chenyu Realm, and had not returned since then. But he couldn't deny the existence of his grandfather's shadow in his heart. For so many years, he had been wondering whether he should return to see his grandfather or not. But he was stubborn like an ox, so he only came back today. He blamed himself, but he was also afraid that something bad had happened to his grandfather. "Uncle is still alive, but his situation is not good," Ling Taichu replied. "Is he hurt?" Ling Wudi clenched his fists and asked while suppressing his emotions. Although they didn't get along, it didn't stop him from caring for his grandfather. "Let someone else tell you about this. I just heard it from them. I haven't found the time to figure it out," Ling Taichu replied. At this time, Ling Taimeng spoke from the side. "Xiao Er knows this the best. Xiao Er, tell Wudi about your uncle Hongyu's situation." Ling Xiao didn't expect Ling Wudi to be Ling Hongyu's grandson, so he told Ling Wudi everything he knew. After listening, Ling Wudi's expression relaxed a little, but he scolded. "This old-fashioned old man, he really makes people speechless. He sacrificed himself to protect the ancestral land. How could he think of such a thing? Uncle's realm isn't something we can understand," Ling Taichu replied. "Uncle's realm isn't something you and I can understand," Ling Taichu replied. Then he continued, "Right now we have two things to do. One is to destroy the Demon Tiger tribe, and the other is to save Uncle. As the Demon Tiger tribe is eyeing us like a tiger watching its prey, I can't leave this place. I'll leave saving Uncle to you, Wudi. Perhaps you can persuade Uncle not to be stubborn. The ancient continent has lost its balance. Even I can't fix it. As an eternal god, Ling Taichu could use his blood to resurrect people and destroy all living things. But he didn't have the power to create things. He knew that the eternal realm that people understood was different from him. People thought too perfectly. The real eternal god could only make some things truly immortal. In terms of realm, he could turn the power of space into decay. Moreover, he was an eternal god with the metal element. He had the invincible power, which was different from the other eternal gods. Only the wood element eternal god would possess a trace of creation divine energy. Therefore, even the eternal god could not revive an ancient continent that was on the verge of destruction. At most, he could only prolong its destruction. If the old man had listened to me, I would have brought all my clansmen to Supreme Jin's space. Ling Wudi said angrily. Supreme Jin's space? Everyone was slightly stunned. A spatial land dominated by the power of metal is now under my control. Ling Wudi explained. Then he added, if Qianyu is destroyed, we should move all our people there. Demon Tiger Clan, Winged Clan, Thunder Clan. All of them have their own void lands. I didn't expect Wudi to occupy a void land. This is great. Ling Taimeng praised. The other Kim people were also very excited. A pure attribute space is not bad, but it cannot be used as a permanent resting place. Ling Taichu said. Why is that? Ling Wudi asked in confusion. Then he added, a void land with the metal element is the best place for our clansmen to cultivate. As long as we develop there for 10,000 years, we will not be any worse than the other ancient clans. As the saying goes, solitary Een is not Yang, solitary Yang is not Een. Everything in the world and the 5 elements reinforce and subdue each other. There must be a law among them. If we only use one void land as a place to cultivate, although it can make our disciples grow stronger faster, it will cause some unknown harm to our clan. However, this void land can be used as a special place for cultivation. Ling Taichu said, as the eternal God, he had the most say in many things. Naturally, his words were the most convincing. However, Ling Wudi was more or less unconvinced, but he did not say anything. When everyone returned to the territory of Kim people, Ling Xiao could not wait to find his closest relatives. He came to the residence of his clan. There were many exquisite small wooden houses built nearby. In front of the small wooden house, there was a group of beautiful women chatting. When Ling Xiao saw them, he felt warmth in his heart. A familiar feeling lingered in his heart. Bayushi was the first to see Ling Xiao. She immediately exclaimed, young master is back." Her exclamation immediately attracted the other women to look in Ling Xiao's direction. They could not hide the smile on their delicate faces. Among them, Ji Beixin could not help but throw herself at Ling Xiao. She cried, "Husband, you are finally back. I thought I would never see you again." She was born weak. After experiencing that dangerous life and death situation, she missed Ling Xiao very much. She was afraid that she would never see Ling Xiao again. The other women wanted to throw themselves into Ling Xiao's arms, but at this moment, they did not dare to do so. However, the tears in their eyes had already explained everything. Ling Xiao patted Ji Beixin's shoulder lightly and said, "All right, everything is over. Don't cry, otherwise it won't look good on you. Are you looking down on me? But even if you despise me, I won't leave you," Ji Beixin said emotionally. Ling Xiao lightly scratched the bridge of her nose and said, "What are you saying?" Ling Xiao held her hand and walked in front of the other girls, hugging them one by one. A few more people walked out of the wooden house. When they saw Ling Xiao again, they all had an unprecedented look of excitement. After facing the scene of life and death, people's minds had imperceptibly changed. Moreover, too many people had died. Ji Beixin's grandfather, Ji Tu, had died, and Yao Qingmin's master, Li Shui, had also died. It was also because of these factors that they were very worried that they would not be able to see Ling Xiao again. Seeing that they were all fine, Ling Xiao's heart was finally relieved. However, when he heard that his son, Ling Yu, had almost died, Ling Xiao immediately became furious. "How hateful! If I don't take the Devil Tiger clan's nest twice, I will definitely massacre the Devil Tiger clan in the future and take revenge for the dead." Ling Xiao swore, "Husband, don't be impulsive. The Devil Tiger clan has the eternal God, and only the Tai Chu ancestor can defeat him. You must not be impulsive." Feng Xianyun immediately advised. That's right. That day, hundreds of elders attacked him at the same time, but they were unable to defeat him. He even killed most of them. He is simply the reincarnation of a devil, too terrifying. Kai Xia, you said with lingering fear. Yun Mingqi also opened her mouth and said, "Yes, the eternal realm is beyond imagination. He can turn into a devil soul black hole to devour and kill everyone. It's almost like he has reached another form of God. It's truly difficult to match him." The other women also spoke up. When they thought of the terror of the eternal God, they all had a feeling that they didn't want to face him again. "Don't worry, I won't act impulsively. I've already fought with him. His strength is indeed beyond my expectations." Ling Xiao comforted them. "What, you've met him? But how did you? Didn't he recognize you?" Wei Dyer exclaimed. The others also revealed incomparable astonishment. They couldn't help but think, could it be that husband has also reached the eternal realm? When I attacked the demonic tiger space, I fought with her doppelganger. I'm afraid that doppelganger didn't even use 1/10 of her power, so she was lucky enough to escape. Ling Xiao replied, "So that's how it is. Fortunately, young master is fine, Bayushi patted her bulging chest and said in relief, "Don't worry. Fraud once said that I'm an undying cockroach. No, I'm an undying true dragon life providence. Even if he's an eternal god, he can forget about taking my life," Ling Xiao said with a smile. "Yeah, military counselor is always accurate. His speculations are rarely wrong. What he said is absolutely reasonable." Feng Xianyun replied, "All right, you guys don't need to worry. I'm going to see my teacher and the others," Ling Xiao said, and then walked to the place where the evil emperor, Mad Monk, and the others were. When Ling Xiao saw them again, he couldn't help but sigh. Ling Xiao had met the people he needed to meet. There were also some people he wanted to meet but couldn't. It made him feel heavy. He used to think that his God Soul clone was strong enough to reach the peak of Small Realm. With the 70 times fighting power of the ancient emperor's divine technique, he could look down on all the supreme experts. But today the eternal god had appeared. Moreover, he was their enemy. It made him feel that his current realm was far from enough. When Ling Xiao arrived at the meeting hall of the tribe, he saw around 10 people in the hall. They were the last incipient god realm experts of his tribe. It made him feel suffocated. Now that everyone is here, we can discuss our next move. As the chief, Ling Bo was the first one to speak. Pausing for a while, he continued, "According to Tai Chu forefather, he will personally go to the Heaven Tiger area to kill the warriors of the Demon Tiger tribe to take revenge for our fellows. What if the forefather leaves and the eternal god comes to attack us?" Someone asked worriedly. "I will set up a great formation here and ask Dragon King to stay to protect the tribe. Once something happens, I will come back immediately," Ling Taichu said in a low voice. "It's not appropriate. Forefather, you should ask Dragon King to stay. I'm afraid that you can't kill him in a short time. You shouldn't worry about us. You should take Dragon King to destroy the Demon Tiger tribe to take revenge for our dead fellows," Ling Chun said indignantly. On the day of the great battle, he was traveling and had dodged a calamity. Today, he had reached the middle level of the great realm. Ling Fei was his blood brother. Unfortunately, he was killed. It was a big blow to him. "You're right. Forefather, you shouldn't worry about us. Just kill more warriors of the Demon Tiger tribe. We will be happy." "Yeah, why don't you take us with you? We will risk our lives to fight them." The Heaven Source area has fallen for 1.5 years. Perhaps the eternal god is there. The other warriors of the Kim people expressed their opinions. However, when Ling Xiao heard the last sentence, he was petrified. Chapter 17:12. Tianyuan region had fallen. Ling Xiao had just heard this news. He didn't expect the demonic tiger clan to attack the Tianyuan region first. The reason why he reacted like this was because his woman, Yan Daijiao, was in the medicine guild of the Tianyuan region. "Elder Lien, you just said that the Tianyuan region has fallen. Is this true?" Ling Xiao asked with some excitement. "Yeah, the demonic tiger clan wants to unify the heavenly domain, so they first made a move on the Alchemy Alliance. Now, the Alchemy Alliance is under their control. Moreover, many forces in the Tianyuan region have been massacred and occupied by the demonic tiger clan. It's a pity for those alchemy gods." Ling Xiao clenched his fists so hard that his knuckles cracked, and his eyes burst into flames. "Brother Xiao, don't be impulsive. According to the news, the demonic tiger clan didn't kill the divine alchemists. They just imprisoned them and forced them to refine pills." Ling Chen comforted. He knew that Ling Xiao was the deputy leader of the medicine guild. He was afraid that Ling Xiao couldn't help but go to the Tianyuan region. Ling Xiao narrowed his eyes and replied, "Well, don't worry, I won't be impulsive." Although that was what he said, he had another thought in his mind. His woman fell into the hands of the enemy. This had a great impact on him. Although he was a romantic, he was very strict with his women. He didn't want any of them to be in danger. Now that the medicine guild had fallen into the hands of the demonic tiger clan, he couldn't help but worry. "Before that, I'll go see the old man. If he can come back, he will be a great help to us," Ling Wudi said. He knew his grandfather's strength. Everything he had was taught by his grandfather. If he could bring his grandfather back, it would be very good news for the Kim people. Now that the enemy is here, I believe uncle will understand and be willing to return to the clan. Ling Taimeng replied. Well, didn't he want to keep the ancestral land safe? Let me do it. I can delay the destruction of the ancestral land for 10,000 years. Ling Taichu also agreed. Every member of the Jin clan revealed a look of excitement. Ling Hongyu had an unparalleled position in the hearts of the Kim people. If he could return, it would indeed be very exciting. Ling Xiao showed a hesitant expression, but in the end, he didn't say anything. He wanted to spread the news that he had the Dark Class Genesis Stone. Now that he thought about it, it was better not to say anything. Everyone present definitely hoped that Ling Hongyu would escape and return right now. If he were to bring up this matter, it would be hard for them to make a decision. Ling Zhao's mind was in a mess. He wanted to go to the Tianyuan domain immediately to save the others, but he also wanted to return to the Xianling continent with the others to save the others. When the meeting was over, Ling Xiao went back to his room in a daze. At this time, Feng Xianyun came up to him and asked, "Husband, is there something on your mind?" "Nothing." Ling Xiao didn't want to make her worry, so he shook his head and said, "Don't flatter me. We are an old man with a wife. Whatever is on your mind, it is written clearly on your face." Feng Xianyun approached Ling Xiao and said. Ling Xiao sighed. "Now that the heaven domain is in chaos, I want to bring you back to the Xianling continent temporarily. You are afraid that something will happen to us, right?" Feng Xianyun asked. "Yes, although the Taichu ancestor has reached the eternal realm, the demonic tiger clan is too powerful. Once a war breaks out, I am afraid that I won't be able to take care of you." Ling Xiao expressed his worry. Yan Dai Jiao was already in trouble. He really didn't want anything to happen to the others. He wanted to send them back to the Xianling continent first and wait until the heaven domain was stabilized. In any case, nothing would happen to the Xianling continent in a short period of time. This was the decision that Ling Xiao made after thinking for a long time. "You are the head of the family, whatever you say, we will do." Feng Xianyun said very considerately. "Yes, go and bring everyone here, I will talk to them about this." Ling Xiao replied. Now that Yan Dai Jiao had been held captive by the demonic tiger clan for a year and a half, he had to deal with all his worries before he could go to the Tianyuan territory to save her. Ling Xiao proposed to the ladies that they should return to the Xianling continent. Basically, the ladies had no objections except for Yun Mingqi, who wanted to stay and fight side by side with Ling Xiao. She had the pinnacle black tortoise to rely on. She had the ability to protect herself and kill the enemy. When Ling Xiao heard that Yun Mingqi had the black tortoise, he was surprised and happy for her at the same time. Legend has it that there were 9 great divine beasts, and now they actually had 3 of them. This was an advantage that no one else could compare with. If Xia Xuanxuan's vermilion bird was included, they had a total of 4 divine beasts. If others were to find out about this, they would probably be envious to the point of death. Ling Xiao did not reject Yun Mingqi's request. This kind of defensive pinnacle supreme being was enough to make Yun Mingqi invincible. Other than the eternal god, no one could hurt her. After talking with the ladies for a while, Ling Xiao flew in another direction of the mountain range. In this mountain range, the Monkey King and Ape King were guarding it. These were powerful existences that had reached the 11th rank and above, and ordinary people could not get close easily. When Ling Xiao arrived, the Monkey King and Ape King immediately cast a vigilant look at him. In the mountain range, a figure rushed out. He was undoubtedly Yuan Zhantian. "You are back." Yuan Zhantian looked at Ling Xiao indifferently and said. Ling Xiao nodded and said, "I am back." Then he added, "Congratulations, brother Yuan, for improving your strength." Yuan Zhantian was indeed worthy of being an opponent worthy of his attention. After so many years, Yuan Zhantian had already reached the mid-level supreme being. This kind of advancement speed was indeed incomparable to ordinary people. Ling Xiao knew that once Yuan Zhantian improved, his name would definitely appear on the sovereign list. Yuan Zhantian was a demon born to fight. "I still can't catch up to you," Yuan Zhantian said with some dissatisfaction. While he was becoming stronger, Ling Xiao had also reached another level, making Yuan Zhantian feel that he could not catch up to him. Then, Yuan Zhantian asked, "What about him? Did he not come back with you?" "Him? You mean Brother Wu?" Ling Xiao was stunned for a moment and asked back. Yuan Zhantian nodded his head lightly and said, "I can't catch up to you for now, but I can definitely fight him to determine the winner." Ling Xiao laughed bitterly and said, "You are still the same, but I don't know if Brother Wu is dead or alive." After that, Ling Xiao took out 2 jars of liquor and tossed one to Yuan Zhantian. As they drank, they began to talk about Wu Bufan. "I'm afraid it won't be easy for you to fight him." Ling Xiao sighed. "There will be a chance. He is definitely not a short-lived person." Yuan Zhantian did not have a good impression of Wu Bufan, so his words were more blunt. Ling Xiao smiled and did not continue the topic. Instead, he changed the topic. "I plan to bring my people back to the Xianling continent first. What are your plans?" "I just want to fight and hone myself. I want to reach your level as soon as possible and fight you again." Yuan Zhantian was very straightforward. "The eternal God is not someone we can go against. We might die." Ling Xiao sighed. "The only way is to fight against death." Yuan Zhantian replied. His words undoubtedly showed his determination to stay and fight alongside Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao knew Yuan Zhantian's temperament, so he did not say anything more. In the future, when the absolute beginning ancestor dealt with evil Jiang of the Demon Tiger tribe, he would still need other helpers to kill the Demon Tiger tribe. It would be good for Yuan Zhantian to stay and help him. After chatting with Yuan Zhantian for half a day, Ling Xiao left. Now that the tribe had not gone to the Xianling continent yet, he still had some spare time, so he went to the Soul Tribe's land. Now, the Soul Tribe was gradually recovering. Originally, they were weak. Now, they were no less than the average martial artists in the Heaven region. After all, they were from the ancient race. Their soul power was much stronger than others. This was also the reason why they could improve faster than ordinary people. Any martial artist with a strong soul power would be very beneficial to their cultivation. The Soul Tribe's land was the Dark Shadow Tribe's land. The mountains here were green, the water was clear, and the spiritual chi was abundant. Occasionally, spirit beasts would fly and roar. It was a rare cultivation land. Many members of the Soul Tribe were cultivating diligently here. Their minds were focused. None of them relaxed. This place was protected by a defensive restriction. If Ling Zhao's divine sense wasn't strong enough, he wouldn't have discovered the situation inside the Soul Tribe's land. "Who is it?" A cold voice rang out in alarm. A figure quickly appeared not far from Ling Xiao. "It's me. Don't be nervous." Ling Xiao replied indifferently. "Big brother." That person cried out involuntarily when he saw Ling Xiao. This person was Han Mie, whom Ling Xiao had met in the Outer Realms. Ling Xiao had arranged for him to protect the other members of the Soul Tribe while they cultivated. Han Mie had always regretted his past mistakes. Naturally, he didn't have any objections to Ling Zhao's arrangements. He immediately returned and taught everything he knew to his clansmen. He also took out many divine items to help them grow faster. Now, the Soul Tribe had produced clansmen with God King strength. "Don't call me big brother. It doesn't feel good," Ling Xiao said unnaturally. He wasn't even sure if he was the reincarnation of Han Feng. He was still young, but an old ghost who had lived for hundreds of thousands of years called him big brother. It was really stressful. "No, you are my big brother's reincarnation. Otherwise, how could you get the approval of my big brother's divine life weapon?" Han Mie said persistently. He paused for a while and then said, "Big brother, have you heard about the eternal God? Your dragon gate has already—" Ling Xiao nodded and said, "I already know about this. I just came from the Heavenly Dragon sect." Then he added, "That's why I'm here. Let's go down and talk." "All right, you're here. Let those bastards believe that I'm their ancestor. Although they obey my teachings, they only believe in you," Han Mie replied. Chapter 1713. Ancestor has returned. That's great. Everyone, quickly pay your respects to Ancestor. It's really Ancestor. I haven't seen any news of him for so many years. I thought he had abandoned us. Ancestor must have returned to ensure the safety of our clan. He's so good to us. Isn't that so? If not for Ancestor, how could our Soul clan be here today? When Ling Xiao returned to the Hun clan, all the males of the Hun clan knelt on the ground and worshipped him. Their gazes towards Ling Xiao were filled with sincerity. Did you see that? They are sincerely convinced by you. Hun Extinguisher said with some envy. Ling Xiao said, as long as you wholeheartedly develop the clan, they will always respect you in the future. Don't worry. As long as these old bones of mine don't die, I will dedicate my entire life to the clan to atone for my sins. Hun Extinguisher said solemnly. Ling Xiao didn't say anything else. He landed with Hun Extinguisher and let all the Soul clan members stand up. Then he greeted them one by one. When Ling Xiao saw them, he had the same feeling as when he saw Kim people. They were all incomparably cordial from the bottom of his heart. Master. Yun Tian knelt down in front of Ling Xiao with an incomparably excited expression and greeted him. Ling Xiao gently stroked Yun Tian's snow-white hair and pulled him up. Very good. You must have worked very hard all these years. You've actually reached the God King realm. Yun Tian was one of Ling Xiao's only 2 great disciples. He had actually achieved the true strength of a God King. This cultivation speed wasn't any worse than a real divine physique. Thank you for your praise, Master. Yun Tian replied with a faint smile. He usually treated people incomparably coldly. Only in front of Ling Xiao would he reveal a bit of a smile. Hun Extinguisher couldn't help but sigh. It seems like this kid is very respectful to you, big brother. This is the first time I've seen him smile. Ling Xiao couldn't explain to Hun Extinguisher about the tragic past that Yun Tian had encountered. He changed the topic and introduced Hun Extinguisher to the other Soul Clan members, telling them that Hun Extinguisher was also one of their ancestors. Only then did Hun Mie truly obtain the recognition of the soul race. His old eyes became a bit misty. In the past, he had spread the wrong information, causing their soul race to almost be exterminated. Now, his greatest wish was to gain the recognition of his clansmen once again. Even if these clansmen were his juniors, it would still make him feel better. Ling Xiao arrived at the Soul Race's meeting hall and summoned some of the higher-ranking members of the race for a gathering. This time, he mainly came to listen to the current situation of the Soul Race and to warn them not to expose their identity as members of the Soul Race. The Devil Tiger race was powerful, and they once had an old grudge with the Soul Race. If they knew that there were still clansmen of the Soul Race alive, they would definitely think of ways to exterminate the people of the Soul Race. Ling Xiao didn't stay long at the Soul Race before leaving. He did not plan to bring them away. After all, it was impossible for the Devil Tiger race to slaughter everyone in the Heaven region. As long as they did not expose their identities, they would be safe. Ling Xiao wanted to go to the Blazing Flame merchants, but time was tight, so he gave it up. He believed that the Blazing Flame merchants would know how to deal with this crisis. He flew all the way to the Thousand Demon Mountain range at his fastest speed. This time, Ling Xiao needed the ghost's help to deal with the great enemy. The ghost didn't have any attributes, but the soul power was its innate talent. Ordinary warriors couldn't resist it. It was the best way to use it to kill the other incipient God Realm experts. The ghost felt Ling Xiao's call. It immediately flew out of the Ghost Mountain. It was like a divine horse, galloping in the sky. Its ethereal realm scales sparkled, and its eyes were intimidating. Wisps of soul power twirled on its horn that ordinary people couldn't sense. "Hey, boss, why are you here?" The ghost screamed excitedly. "I came to see if you succeeded or not. It seems like you've become a real king." Ling Xiao caressed the ghost's horn. The ghost's horn was the most sensitive part. Not everyone could touch it. Ling Xiao's actions showed how close he was to ghosts, and it was definitely not an ordinary relationship. "Thanks to you, boss, you took me back to explore. That's how I broke through the boundary," replied the ghost. "Really? Are you willing to go out and explore with me again?" Ling Xiao asked. "Boss, wherever you tell me to go, I'll go." answered the ghost straightforwardly. Very good. But this time we might die, Ling Xiao said again. There's nothing to be afraid of about death, replied the ghost. Ling Xiao was satisfied with the ghost. He still trusted him a lot. Ling Xiao rode on the ghost's back, flying to another area of the Thousand Demon Mountain range. That area was the territory of the tree monsters and the illusory monsters. These two kinds of monsters hadn't been exterminated. Of course, there were a few that escaped. Now that their king was dead, they had already scattered to other places to survive. There was a towering ancient tree here. Its green leaves were sparkling and translucent. Its roots were like coiled dragon whiskers. A strong aura of life assaulted their nostrils. This ancient tree looked greener than the other trees. An ordinary person would only think that it was an old tree that grew once every 10,000 years. No one would think that it was one of the 9 sacred trees, the immortal sacred tree. When Ling Xiao and the ghost arrived in front of this tree, Ling Xiao immediately condensed a dragon claw and grabbed at this sacred tree. This dragon claw was so huge that it could crush dozens of mountains without a problem. This sacred tree seemed to tremble a little. Then it automatically shrank. In the blink of an eye, it became much smaller. Finally, it turned into an old man whose whole body was covered in green. I say, young friend, you're bullying an old man like me. Lu Wang hurriedly dodged and cried out. Hee, I see that you're old but vigorous. Let's exchange some pointers. Ling Xiao withdrew his power and smiled. Who wants to exchange pointers with you? My old arms and legs still want to live a few more years. Lu Wang snapped. Ling Xiao was a little speechless. He thought to himself, the immortal sacred tree is afraid of death. Isn't this too unreasonable? Old Lu, you've been living well these past few years, right? Ling Xiao smiled at Lu Wang. Lu Wang looked at Ling Xiao's smile and couldn't help but feel a little scared. He had been with Ling Xiao for many years. He understood Ling Xiao all too well. This smile was the prelude to extortion. Lu Wang bowed, appearing very weak. He sighed. Alas, this old man gave you half of the immortal heart. That's half of my life. How can this little bit of time be enough for me to recover? At the very least, it'll take me tens of thousands of years to recover. Ling Xiao sighed. Tens of thousands of years is truly a long time. Then he added, I don't know if I can wait that long. I'm afraid this will be the last time I see old Lu. Lu Wang was surprised. Why do you say that, young friend? You might not know this, but our human race has produced an eternal God. He is a God whose strength surpasses all humans. He possesses the terrifying power to destroy everything. He is my enemy, and I'm afraid I won't be able to last a single move against him. Now that he wants to exterminate my people, I have no choice but to return to save them. So, after this meeting, I'm afraid it will be difficult to see him again. Ling Xiao revealed a bitter expression. Lu Wang asked, do humans with such strength really exist? Of course. He wants to unify all of the human territories, and none of us are his match. Facing him is certain death, but we have no choice but to face him. Ling Xiao replied, all right, seeing that you're safe and sound here, I'm relieved. I'll be returning to my clan with the ghost. Take care. With that, Ling Xiao rode on the ghost's back and prepared to leave. Lu Wang had gone through many trials and tribulations with Ling Xiao. Hearing that Ling Xiao's life was in danger and that it would be difficult for him to return in the future, he felt very uncomfortable. He immediately called out, young friend, we've known each other for many years, but if even you can't deal with a human, then there's nothing I can do. How about this? I'll give you some of the tree's sap and fruit. I hope they'll be of help to you at the last moment. With that, Lu Wang took out some of the sacred beasts on his body. There were 3 portions each of tree sap, fruit, and roots. Ling Xiao turned around and looked at Lu Wang with disdain in his heart. This old fellow is always so stingy. Old Lu, you should keep these for yourself. How can they save my life? Ling Xiao refused. Anyone could see that Ling Xiao was dissatisfied with the small amount. Lu Wang clenched his teeth and took out 2 portions each, saying, this is my limit. Otherwise, This old man will really die. AI, old Lu, I know it's not easy for you to cultivate, but this time, I'm facing the strongest expert of the human race. I'll die without a doubt, and my loved ones will all die. How many people can your tree sap, fruit, and roots save? After a pause, he continued, how about this, you give me 50 portions each. Only then will we be able to reflect our many years of friendship. Lu Wang's face instantly turned even greener. This was simply asking for his old life. However, when he thought about how Ling Xiao might really die and how his clansmen might not be in a good situation, he clenched his teeth and said, 10 portions each is my limit. Otherwise, this old man will have no other choice. 10 portions each is too little. Since you are so troubled, then 45 portions each will be fine. You know that I am a very reasonable person. Little friend, you are asking for this old man's life. At most, I will give you 15 portions, no more. The wood element here is very rich. It is the most suitable for you to cultivate. If I give you a few more portions, you will be able to make up for it in a few years. Why are you so stingy? You are disregarding our friendship. After Ling Xiao and Lu Wang haggled for a while, Lu Wang finally gave Ling Xiao 30 portions each of the immortal divine items. Ling Xiao quickly collected the immortal divine items and smiled, saying, many thanks, old Lu. If I don't die in the future, I will definitely find the wood element Genesis stone for you as repayment. Then, Ling Xiao urged the ghosts to quickly leave this place. Lu Wang was stunned for a moment. Then he bitterly said, I was tricked by this little friend again. He is really too cunning. After Lu Wang saw Ling Xiao's figure disappear, he shook his head and sighed, saying, the great calamity is coming. I hope that I will not give up and give little friend a chance to live again. Take care. Chapter 17:14. Ling Xiao left the Thousand Demon Mountain Range and rushed to the Heavenly Sparrow territory. He first went to the Barbarian race, then to the Thousand Beast Mountain Range to find Xia Xianxian. Then, he went to the Nirvana space with Xia Xianxian. Ling Xiao asked Xia Xianxian to summon the Vermilion Bird and asked it to summon the Prodigal. Soon, Ling Xiao returned to the Dragon's Gaze Mountain Range from the Heavenly Sparrow territory. Ling Xiao and the others were about to go to the Xianling continent with Ling Wudi and the others. Unexpectedly, demonic clouds covered the sky above the Dragon's Gaze mountain range and a black hole spun rapidly, covering the land within 1,000,000 miles. Everyone was shocked. It's the eternal god of the Demon Tiger clan. He's here again. Oh my god. Is he really ignoring our Taichu ancestor? Damn it. I hope the old ancestor can kill him this time. That's right. Kill that devil and bring peace to the heaven region. Avenge our dragon gate. Look, there are so many lightning bolts descending over there. They seem to contain chaotic energy and terrifying destructive power. What's going on? Why are there two different kinds of terrifying phenomena at the same time? Is there something wrong again? First, demonic clouds covered the sky and the black hole descended. Then, chaotic lightning bolts descended. It was as if the end of the world had come, causing everyone to panic. Suddenly, a terrifying dragon roar was heard from the Dragon's Gazing mountain range. A terrifying ancient dragon broke out of the ground and soared several million miles into the sky, directly charging towards the two strange phenomena. How dare you, evil King Jiang? Ling Taichu's voice sounded in shock. In an instant, a golden baleful aura filled the surroundings. Rays of golden baleful aura turned into billions of spear shadows. The dragon shadows rushed towards the demonic clouds, black hole, and chaotic lightning bolts. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The terrifying destructive power intertwined with each other, causing a terrifying tremor. The 9 heavens were pierced through, and countless aftershocks descended as if they were going to destroy the entire region. A golden barrier flowed around the Dragon's Gaze mountain range, blocking all the descending power. This was the defensive barrier that Ling Taichu had set up here earlier. Above the 9th heaven, the black hole in the demonic clouds converged, and the chaotic heavenly lightning gradually subsided. 2 figures appeared in front of them. One of them seemed to be shrouded in demonic clouds, making it impossible to see his appearance clearly. An evil aura flickered incessantly, and beside him was a black demon tiger emperor, glaring at him like a tiger watching its prey. The other person was a young man who was flying in the air. He held a primal chaos lightning spear in his hand and wore a primal chaos lightning robe. He was like a god of lightning that had descended from the heavens, carrying with him an aura that disdained the world. These were two eternal gods, Zhang Diwang and Lei Battleground. The two clans were originally mortal enemies, but now they had come together. It was truly unbelievable. In the land of the Kim people, everyone was worried. Ling Wudi, Ling Taimeng, and Ling Xiao gathered together. Ling Wudi's aura spread out, and 9 streams of dragon energy coiled around his body. He said in a low voice, "Is this the power of eternity? As expected, it can suppress everything." Ling Taimeng looked at Ling Wudi in surprise. He felt that this nephew of his could bring some pressure to him. The Demon Tiger clan's eternal god is here, but the other person came with him. Could it be that he is also an eternal god? If so, how can Big Brother resist? Ling Taimeng frowned and sighed. Ling Xiao said from the side, "With the help of the Dragon Emperor, Tai Chu ancestors should be able to handle it." Ling Xiao did not expect that the Demon Tiger clan's eternal god would bring help. He was also very worried. If his old ancestor could not resist, the Kim people would be annihilated. "I hope he can really resist, otherwise, I can only fight to the death," Ling Xiao thought to himself. He had the Chaos World energy, and could barely resist the power of the Eternal God's avatar. But if he really fought with the Eternal God's avatar, it would be like throwing an egg against a stone. But at this point, they no longer had a choice. "Ling Taichu, today is the day you die, haha." Jiang Xiaowang laughed at Ling Taichu. Ling Taichu's expression was incomparably calm. "I was able to force you back then, and today, I will kill you." Then he looked at Lei Zhanyang and said, "Who are you? And why do you want to meddle in the grudge between our two clans?" "The Demon Tiger clan is ambitious, and wants to destroy all the clans and unify the Heaven region. We should work together to deal with them." What a beautiful speech. But in the future, the Heaven region will be supported by the Thunder clan and the Demon Tiger clan. If you know what's good for you, submit to us. Otherwise, the Kim people will be annihilated today. Lei Zhanyang sneered. "Thunder clan? Southern region Thunder clan? You want to take over the Heaven region?" Ling Taichu said in a low voice. "That's right. Since you know about the Thunder clan, then surrender. Considering that you and I are in the Eternal Realm, we can't bear to kill you." Lei Zhanyang said condescendingly. "If that's the case, then there's nothing more to say. I, Ling Taichu, have never been afraid of anyone. If the two of you come at me together, I'll send you to heaven." Ling Taichu shouted angrily. Dragon Qi instantly rose from his body, and he seemed to have turned into a human-shaped dragon. His terrifying strength was raised to the extreme, and he locked onto Jiang Xiaowang and Lei Zhanyang. He wanted to force the two of them out of the Heaven region. Otherwise, the entire Heavenly Dragon region, and even the entire Heaven region, would be destroyed by the aftermath of their battle. "I, Lei Zhanyang, alone is enough to deal with you." Lei Zhanyang's purple hair fluttered in the wind, and his lightning spear trembled. Tens of thousands of lightning bolts fell from the sky as he walked towards Ling Taichu. Countless bolts of primal chaos lightning descended, with every single one of them capable of annihilating any pinnacle sovereign realm sovereign. Ling Taichu turned into the Golden Fiend God, and thousands of Golden Fiend energy blocked the chaotic lightning bolts. The two of them were equal in strength, but the destructive power of the chaotic lightning bolts was stronger. From the beginning, the chaotic lightning bolts suppressed the Golden Fiend energy. "Brother Lei, kill Ling Taichu first. I will go and capture that Ling Xiao later. It was that brat who destroyed the friendship between our two clans. He even destroyed my clan's land twice. I will extract his soul and refine it for 49 days before letting him die." Jiang Xiaowang sneered. He actually wanted to fly down to the Jin clan's territory. Jiang Xiaowang laughed coldly. From his words, it was clear that he already knew the crux of the enmity between the Devil Tiger clan and the Thunder clan. In fact, the crux of the enmity had already been revealed a long time ago, but the enmity between the two clans was too deep. Even if they knew that they had been tricked, they could only bite the bullet and accept it. After all, the Devil Tiger clan's ancestral land was indeed destroyed by the Thunder clan, and the Devil Tiger clan had also killed many of the Thunder clan's people. It was not easy to resolve this enmity. If Lei Zhanyang had not personally come to the Heaven region not long ago, they would not have resolved the enmity and reached an agreement. Because both of them were in the eternal realm, unless it was a life and death battle, no one would know who was stronger. Therefore, Jiang Xiaowang proposed to work together with the Thunder clan to plunder the Heaven region. The 5 regions of the Heaven region were filled with outstanding people, and in every era there would be many outstanding people. If the two clans were to occupy their respective territories, those outstanding people would also be under their control, and their clans would naturally become stronger. Moreover, they all had a common goal, and that was to take down Ling Xiao to vent their hatred. After all, Ling Xiao was the main culprit behind the enmity between the two clans. Just as Jiang Xiaowang was about to rush down, Ling Taichu shouted, "Dragon Emperor! Stop him!" That primordial giant tiger roared and charged towards Jiang Xiaowang like a golden rainbow. There was a dragon pearl in its mouth, causing its strength to explode to 150 times its normal strength. A terrifying force rushed towards Jiang Xiaowang and his black demon tiger emperor. This time, the primordial dragon was really angry. Previously, the Dragon King was afraid of losing his life, but this time, he definitely did not want to let go of the person in front of him and the black demon tiger emperor. Therefore, he used the power of the dragon pearl to attack. The dragons were the strongest fighting race in the world, and almost no human or beast at the same realm could be their opponent. Jiang Xiaowang and the Black Demon Tiger Emperor didn't dare to fight the primordial dragon alone, as they were afraid that they would be defeated one by one. Jiang Xiaowang thrust out his heaven-defying demon palm, and the Black Demon Tiger Emperor, who had suffered from the primordial dragon before, didn't dare to be careless. He spat out many energy balls to resist the primordial dragon's power. The battle overturned this part of the world. Some people who were flying in faraway regions instantly fell from the sky and died. Many people who were using the spatial formations exploded and died on the way. The land millions of miles below was hit by the terrifying shockwaves, and many ordinary martial artists died in vain. This was the battle between the Eternal Realm experts, and it was as terrible as a natural disaster that could destroy the world. Ling Taichu burst out his full power, and his power was dozens of times stronger than before, forcing Lei Zhanyang out of the Heaven territory. The primordial dragon emperor also forced Jiang Xiaowang and the Black Demon Tiger Emperor to retreat to the outer space to fight. In the territory of Kim people, not a single incipient God realm expert had the guts to go out and watch the battle because they couldn't bear the shockwaves. If they went out, they would die in vain. The eternal war. I also want to reach this step as soon as possible. Ling Wudi faced the sky and shouted angrily. His entire body became incomparably radiant like an emperor descending to the world. With a golden dragon coiling around his body, he looked incomparably majestic. He wanted to go to outer space to watch the eternal war. Ling Taimeng, Lei Wanjun, Qing Ming, and the others hurried to stop him. Wudi, the eternal war isn't something we can join. You should stay here and wait for your Uncle Taichu to come back. He will preach to you if you can enter the eternal realm. Ling Taimeng advised. Lei Wanjun also said, "Yeah, boss, you should be patient for now. With your current realm, I'm afraid it's not far from entering the eternal realm. Why do you need to take the risk to watch the battle? It's not worth it." Ling Wudi retrieved his aura unwillingly. Then, he sighed, "Eternal, eternal. It's not easy to reach that step." At this time, Ling Chun was startled. "Brother Xiao, what are you doing?" He saw Ling Xiao ride the Chaos Thunder Dragon and fly towards a direction with Yun Mingqi. Chapter 17:15. As Ling Chun cried out in alarm, Ling Xiao and Yun Mingqi had already flown far away on their primal chaos lightning dragons. Lei Wanjun was confused. Did that kid run away? Ling Chun immediately replied, Brother Xiao is not that kind of person. All these years, he has contributed a lot to the clan and the Heavenly Dragon sect. He is not someone who is afraid of death. Ling Bo agreed. That's right. In order to collect the Genesis stones, Xiao Er has been wandering the outer space for many years. He has collected 6 types of Genesis stones by himself. You can imagine how difficult it is. Now that the clan is in danger, he can't be running away. He must have his own plans. That's right. I know a bit about Xiao Er's character. He once accompanied us to defeat the Devil Tiger tribe, and then he led the Thunder tribe to destroy the Devil Tiger tribe's ancestral land. He's very courageous, and definitely not someone who fears death. Ling Taimeng also stood up for Ling Xiao. Lei Wanjun was rendered speechless. He didn't expect Ling Xiao to be so popular among the Kim people. His suspicion was immediately refuted by others. Ling Wudi was also slightly surprised, but he quickly regained his composure. I never thought that 3 eternal gods would appear at the same time. This is simply unbelievable. Could it be that the world has changed? Ling Taimeng sighed, then said, Uncle Taichu is fighting against 2 enemies at the same time. The situation is not optimistic. We must prepare to leave. Any preparations now would be futile. Big Brother controls our clan's golden dragon altar. With his strength, even if he can't win against 2 enemies, I believe he won't lose. Ling Taimeng frowned. Outside the realm, the 3 eternal gods and the 2 beast emperors had already reduced large swathes of space to dust. There were the demon cloud black hole space, the chaotic heavenly lightning space, and the golden fiend space. Each of them was the most terrifying spatial power in the world. They completely filled the surrounding millions of miles. They crisscrossed endlessly, and all kinds of destructive power were like doomsday natural disasters. Anything that got close would be destroyed. When Ling Taichu and Lei Zhanyang fought, he was initially suppressed by Lei Zhanyang's primal chaos heavenly lightning space. However, Ling Taichu was a member of the Kim people after all. After he increased all his power, his golden fiend space became even more terrifying than Lei Zhanyang's chaotic heavenly lightning space. The chaotic heavenly thunder's advantage lay in its destructive power, while the fiendish gold's power was slightly inferior. However, its advantage lay in its massive spatial power. Ling Taichu's golden fiend space transformed into thousands upon thousands of golden dragons. The golden spear blocked the chaos heavenly lightning, and many more blasted towards the lightning battlefield. Thunderous Battle's purple hair danced in the air as he swung the chaos lightning spear in his hand. Each golden dragon and golden spear shadow was destroyed by him. His expression was calm. A disdainful smile hung on his face, as if he did not place Ling Taichu in his eyes. The Kim people can actually increase their combat power, and even their spatial power has increased. However, it's still not enough. Thunderous Battle sneered. The chaotic heavenly lightning converged, and he turned into a human-shaped lightning bolt that shot towards Ling Taichu. The golden fiend space was torn apart by this thick and solid lightning bolt. Thunderous Battle was planning to fight Ling Taichu head-on. It was time to decide the victor. Ling Taichu's dragon eyes were oppressive. He waved his golden spear like a dragon and charged towards Thunderous Battle. He roared, "The heavenly lightning is known as the power of righteousness, but you actually allied with the demon tiger tribe. You are a disgrace to this power that punishes evil. Today, I will punish you on behalf of the heavens." The power of the 2 eternal gods intersected, and a series of terrifying explosions rang out. In an instant, they exchanged hundreds of blows, and each blow was with their full strength, aimed at their respective vitals. The 2 of them were evenly matched, and it was almost impossible to determine the victor in a short period of time. On the other side, the primordial dragon swallowed the dragon pearl, and its combat power was incomparably terrifying. Many of the black holes in the demonic clouds were destroyed by its dragon body, and the black corrosive power did not cause any damage to it. The black demon tiger emperor, who was waiting for an opportunity, used its powerful body to collide with the primordial dragon from time to time, but its bloodline power was still lacking. Although it had reached the primordial level, it was still no match for the primordial dragon at the same level. The primordial dragon was still able to deal with two enemies at once, but it could not kill the man and beast in a short period of time. True dragon divine beasts are indeed difficult to deal with. Wait until I break your body and corrode you into pieces. Jiang Xiaowang roared, and in an instant, several giant palms shot towards the primordial dragon. This was just a tactic to distract the enemy. His real body had already closed in on the primordial dragon. Two black divine blades materialized in his hands, and they stabbed towards the primordial dragon's neck. The black divine blades were like fangs, and they were filled with a bloodthirsty aura. As it was created by the eternal God, it had already surpassed the scope of any ancient god weapon. It was enough to kill the toughest object in this world. However, when the pair of divine blades touched the primordial dragon's neck, they produced a clear, clanging sound. Surprisingly, the pair of black divine blades couldn't pierce through the dragon's scales and pierce the dragon's neck. The primordial dragon was enraged. It roared, and the terrifying dragon roar shook Jiang Xiaowang away. The dragon's head twisted towards him, and it was about to swallow him alive. The Black Demon Tiger Emperor and Jiang Xiaowang had a tacit understanding. When Jiang Xiaowang was in danger, the tiger immediately attacked the primordial dragon, giving Jiang Xiaowang time to retreat. However, Jiang Xiaowang didn't retreat. Instead, many corrosive powers wrapped around the primordial dragon. The three of them and the two beasts had fought so many times in this outer space. They had shattered a lot of spaces. Mysterious and unknown space slits continually appeared. If a supreme expert or an incipient god realm expert got into those slits, he wouldn't be able to survive. After a long battle, Ling Taichu had no choice but to take out the golden dragon altar. This divine weapon had condensed the aura of the Kim people for millions of years. After Ling Taichu had poured the eternal god blood into it, it had become a real eternal divine weapon. It stood on top of Lei Zhanyang and Jiang Xiaowang's divine weapons. Its power was so terrifying that it made Lei Zhanyang vomit blood. His chaos battle suit was torn apart by the attack. Lei Zhanyang retreated continuously. He said in fright, How could you have such a divine weapon? Did you find an eternal material? That's impossible. Lei Zhanyang and Ling Taichu were fighting so hard that they couldn't separate from each other. Now that Ling Taichu had wounded him, he panicked. Humph, you don't need to know too much. Today you will die together with Jiang Xiaowang. This world doesn't need too many eternal gods. Ling Taichu snorted coldly after his first attack. He controlled the golden dragon altar to attack again. The golden dragon altar turned into tens of thousands of primordial dragons. Each of them contained terrifying power. They bombarded the Thunder Battleground. Thunder Battleground's chaos, heavenly lightning, couldn't stop these primordial dragons that were filled with intelligence. They were like tens of thousands of dragons coming out of their nests. Their power was enough to destroy many spaces. The Thunder Battleground had a feeling that it was hard to resist them. Boundless lightning! Lei Zhanyang shouted in fear. He turned into a thunder god. Chaos, heavenly lightning rained down from the sky and bombarded the primordial dragons in front of him. But many of these primordial dragons still managed to break through the chaos, heavenly lightning. They roared and charged at him. He tried to block them, but he was still forced to retreat. Suddenly, the golden dragon altar came crashing down on him. The golden dragon altar seemed to have turned into a real primordial dragon. It had a terrifying body that was tens of thousands of meters long. It came crashing down with terrifying power that could destroy the power of dozens of stars. Lei Zhanyang was shocked. He raised his chaos lightning spear, but he couldn't knock the golden dragon altar away. Instead, his chaos lightning spear was broken, and he was forced to retreat again while vomiting blood. However, these injuries were nothing to him at all. At his level, as long as he had a drop of blood, he could regenerate. He was almost indestructible. But if this continued, he would be defeated by Ling Taichu sooner or later. But he didn't know that Ling Taichu used up a lot of energy to activate the golden dragon altar. Every attack contained a lot of divine power, and he was almost drained of all his energy. If I can't defeat one of them, I'm afraid they will keep looking at me, the Kim people. Even if I have to risk it all, I will use them to establish my power. Ling Taichu thought to himself. All the perilous aura flowed into the golden dragon altar. At the same time, a drop of divine blood dripped onto the altar. The golden dragon altar became stronger and stronger. It chased after Lei Zhanyang, crashing into him again and again. Lei Zhanyang suffered setbacks. Lei Zhanyang had no choice but to rush toward evil Jiang. He shouted, "Brother Jiang, help me. Let's work together to take them down." Evil Jiang didn't expect Lei Zhanyang, who was stronger than him, to be forced to run to his side by Ling Taichu. But he was also busy. The primordious dragon's power was too terrifying. The power of the dragon pearl had increased its power by 200 times, but it couldn't suppress it at all. It was almost devoured by it many times. His black demon tiger emperor was already riddled with wounds, and its power was greatly reduced. Evil Jiang and Lei Zhanyang joined together, while Ling Taichu joined with the primordious dragon. Ling Taichu didn't give them a chance to catch their breath. He roared, "Today, either you die or I die." Ling Taichu looked like he was going all out. Perilous aura surged endlessly, and many golden dragons roared as they flew out. Evil Jiang and Lei Zhanyang joined forces, forming two danger spaces. Demonic black holes appeared one after another, devouring all energy. Chaotic heavenly lightning struck in all directions, destroying everything in its path. The intense collision lasted for an unknown amount of time, and no one knew where they went. Many spaces were ravaged by them, and many holy beasts living in the outer world were killed by the shockwaves. Their eternal power seemed to represent an inexhaustible power. Their battle could cause the world to lose its color. That kind of world-destroying power was indescribable. Chapter 17:16. Millions of outer realms had been completely destroyed by the eternal God. This battle lasted for an unknown number of days and nights, and it did not subside for a long time. The eternal God blood flew everywhere, and the primordial beast emperor roared. Finally, at a certain point, they stopped. Jiang Xiaowang and Lei Zhanyang were in an extremely sorry state. Their divine blood was boiling as they quickly recovered their damaged divine bodies. Ling Taichu was not in a good state either. His divine body was showing signs of cracking, and his aura was much weaker. In this 10-million-mile area, a lot of origin power was swept away. The three of them were doing their best to recover their strength. None of them wanted to fall behind the others. In the distant heavenly region, many people felt the ground tremble. Much of the origin energy disappeared in an instant, shocking them all. 3 humans and 2 beasts. Only the primordial dragon's dragon pearl provided it with an endless supply of energy. It wanted to tear the black demon tiger emperor apart and devour it. Unfortunately, Jiang Xiaowang summoned it back at the crucial moment and kept it in his bracer, saving its life. Just as the primordial dragon was about to charge at Jiang Xiaowang and Lei Zhanyang, Jiang Xiaowang could no longer hold back. "Ling Taichu, make it stop first. I have something to talk to you about," Jiang Xiaowang shouted. Ling Taichu did not reply. The golden dragon altar revolved around him. Draconic chi floated around him. He seemed to have transformed into a human dragon and was rapidly recovering. Jiang Xiaowang and Lei Zhanyang did not dare to fight the primordial dragon. They had used up too much energy and had no choice but to dodge. "Ling Taichu, listen to me, we're willing to reconcile with you. If you let it chase after us again, we'd rather die than live. We can't kill you, but we can kill your clansmen and even the entire Heaven Domain's people," Jiang Xiaowang shouted. Lei Zhanyang also said coldly, "That's right. Hurry up and stop. This battle is over. Otherwise, I will summon the chaos heavenly lightning and destroy your heavenly region first." It was unbelievable that 2 eternal gods had been forced into such a state. This was mainly because Ling Taichu was holding the destiny artifact of the Kim people, a divine artifact that had been tempered for millions of years. After being baptized by his divine blood, it had become a true eternal artifact. It was not something that could be simply condensed from a drop of blood could compare to. Moreover, the primordial dragon emperor's might was even more invincible. This was the reason why Ling Taichu was able to gain the upper hand. However, with the two eternal gods threatening him, Ling Taichu didn't dare to be careless. After all, if they wanted to leave, he wouldn't be able to stop them. Dragon Emperor, return! Ling Taichu called out to the primordious dragon. When the primordious dragon returned to Ling Taichu's side, Jiang Xiawang and thunderous Zhan Yang stopped and heaved a sigh of relief. You can destroy the heaven domain, you can kill my clansmen, but I can also kill all of your clansmen. Unless the two of you stay together, I can kill either one of you. Ling Taichu said coldly. Since both of us can't do anything to each other, why don't we set up a truce for 100 years? After 100 years, we will decide the winner and loser. What do you think? Jiang Xiawang was forced to make way. To him, 100 years was a chance to forge a true eternal divine weapon. Only then would he be able to challenge Ling Taichu. At that time, he and thunderous Zhan Yang would definitely be able to destroy Ling Taichu. Thunderous Zhan Yang also understood the meaning of Jiang Xiawang's words. He immediately nodded and said, "That's right. We will decide the winner and loser in 100 years. You two really know how to plan. After 100 years, join forces and decide the winner and loser." Ling Taichu said disdainfully. He paused for a moment and then said, 100 years it is. You can't invade the heaven domain's territory anymore, and you can't secretly kill my clansmen. Otherwise, even if both sides suffer, I won't let you have it easy. Ling Taichu naturally understood that they were stalling for time, but he had no other choice. He could only agree to it first and then think of a countermeasure. After all, he couldn't kill the two of them unless another eternal god appeared in their clan. Only then would they have a chance to deal with this crisis. All right, we promise you that we won't use force against the heaven domain for 100 years. After 100 years, we will see the result. Jiang Xiawang replied and then transmitted his voice to thunderous Zhan Yang. No one knew what he said, but the two of them disappeared from the domain without looking back. After the two of them left, Ling Taichu sighed softly. 100 years will pass in the blink of an eye. Wanting to create another eternal god is easier said than done. After saying that, he and the primordious dragon returned to the domain. In the heaven domain's Tianyuan district, during the days when the three eternal gods fought fiercely, some changes happened. Ling Xiao and Yun Mengqi rode the primordial lightning dragon and arrived in the sky above the Medicine Alliance at the fastest speed possible. This place had long been under control. Many alchemists had become prisoners of the Demon Tiger clan. Even the three palace masters were no exception. Shi Songyang was incomparably sullen. He had just escaped from the lightning space, but now he was in another kind of dangerous situation. Fortunately, the situation this time was slightly better than the previous time. They weren't locked up, but the floating city was completely isolated by the eternal god, making it impossible for them to escape. In addition, they had to refine a fixed number of sovereign god pills and god king pills every month. Otherwise, they would kill a person from the floating city every month. The three palace masters had no choice but to comply. But today, Zhang Anguang wanted to forcefully take Yin Djiao away. Yin Djiao was the #1 beauty of the Tianyuan district, a peerless beauty that shocked everyone. Zhang Anguang had once grown up in the Tianyuan district under an alias, so he had naturally heard of this carry for a long time. In the floating city's main hall, this dazzling hall had already become one of the Demon Tiger clan's branch halls. Zhang Anguang sat on the main seat. He had the dark light physique and cultivated yin and yang qi. He could fight powerful existences on the sovereign list. Zhang Anguang, don't even think about taking Djiao away unless we die. Shi Songyang growled with extreme dissatisfaction. Shi Songyang, Lian Haogong, Zhuo Xinghong, and Yan Djiao were all in the hall. Their faces were filled with anger. Yan Djiao was as beautiful as ever. She had a graceful figure and was a beauty that any man would fall in love with. She had a worried expression on her face, making her look even more pitiful. Do you have a choice? Zhang Onguang sneered and stared at Yan Dijiao. I've long heard that the #1 beauty of the Tianyuan district is an amazing divine alchemist. Now that I see you in an alchemist robe, you do indeed have a unique style. Become my concubine, and you can protect these old geezers' lives in the future. Don't even think about it. Yan Dijiao gritted her teeth and refused. You can refuse, but what if I kill them now? Zhang Onguang refuted. Yan Dijiao's delicate body trembled and her beautiful eyes glared at Zhang Onguang. Unable to speak, Lian Haogong frowned. Kill us if you have the ability. We don't want to live anyway. That's right, we would rather not serve you, demon race. Zhuo Xinghong also said. Very well, do you really think your alchemy gods are priceless? I will kill you all today. Zhang Onguang sneered and a divine sword flew out, slashing towards the 3 alchemy gods. The 3 alchemy gods' realms were suppressed. Even though they were still supremes, they couldn't unleash a third of their power. This sword was enough to kill them. Stop! Yan Dai shouted in a tender voice. In her life, these 3 were the most important people to her. She didn't want anything to happen to any of them. Zhang Onguang sneered. I will only give you 3 breaths of time to consider. Whether you agree or not is up to you. In any case, you can't escape from my palm. Finished speaking, his palm grabbed towards Yan Dijiao. A palm with yin and yang energy instantly grabbed Yan Dijiao's throat and pulled her into his embrace. Yan Dijiao cried out and tried to struggle with all her might. However, her realm was far from Zhang Onguang's. Bastard! Stop! Shi Zongyang scolded and unleashed a huge flaming palm towards Zhang Onguang. Unfortunately, he was a fiery light and couldn't even break Zhang Onguang's yin-yang divine light. Zhang Onguang revealed a wretched smile and said to Yan Dijiao, This old fart wants to die. Tell me, how should I deal with him? Even though he was asking for Yan Dijiao's opinion, he had already unleashed a palm and sent Shi Zongyang flying. Bang! Shi Zongyang's body slammed into a stone pillar and spat out a mouthful of blood. Big brother! Lian Haogong and Zhuo Xinghong cried out and ran towards Shi Zongyang. Zhang Onguang still had some restraint. He only injured Shi Zongyang and didn't take his life. Now we will consummate our marriage. From now on, you will be my woman. Your alchemy alliance will have to listen to my orders. Do you understand? Zhang Onguang pinched Yan Dijiao's chin and said with an obscene gaze. Yan Dijiao was speechless. Only her beautiful eyes were filled with tears and a bit of determination to die. Don't even think about committing suicide. Otherwise, I will extract their souls and refine them to death. Zhang Onguang threatened and then shouted towards the outside of the hall. Take the 3 of them away! Lian Haogong was enraged. You have already controlled the guild. Isn't that enough? Do you want to force us all to die? That's right. If we die, no one will refine supreme god pellets for you. Release Dijiao. We will fulfill our promise. Zhuo Xinghong said indignantly. No need. My clan has the eternal god. He can capture some more supreme incipient god realm experts. I remember that the Sky Dragon area has the youngest supreme incipient god realm expert. His name is Ling something Xiao. I believe he can't escape from my clan. Haha! Zhang Onguang laughed crazily. Yan Dijiao immediately cried, You can't capture him. Please let him go. Also, let my teacher and the others go. I will stay and be your concubine. Seems like you really care about that Ling something Xiao. Did you already have an affair with him? Zhang Onguang looked displeased. It was also at this moment that a terrifying explosion rang out from outside, causing the entire hall to shake violently. Chapter 1717. The floating city was covered with barriers that any peak of incipient god realm expert couldn't break. When Ling Xiao and Yun Mingqi arrived, they asked the Primal Chaos Thunder Dragon to send endless Primal Chaos Lightning to cover the entire floating city. The terrifying chaotic lightning caused a series of terrifying explosions to ring out in the sky above the floating city, causing everyone in the floating city to panic. Who dares to ambush our demon tiger tribe's territory? He deserves to die, screamed a demon tiger tribe expert. Then, someone screamed, "It's an enemy attack. The primal chaos thunder dragon is up there. It's that bastard Ling Xiao. Hurry and gather the troops to kill him. He's so bold. Isn't he afraid that our eternal God can kill him with just one finger? He's crazy. The Kim people must have been wiped out by our ancestor. That's why he's here to struggle. Anyway, it's impossible for him to destroy the barriers alone. We have to go out and kill him." Instantly, many members of the demon tiger tribe who were guarding the city dashed out. Besides the members of the demon tiger tribe, there were also some incipient God Realm experts from the Sky Tigerland and some incipient God Realm experts from the Heaven Source Land who were forced to surrender. There were around 70 to 80 of them in total. They were the ones guarding the floating city. 3 of them were at the peak of the demon tiger tribe while the others were at high or low levels. All of them rode their holy beasts and dashed towards Ling Xiao and Yun Mingqi. The terrifying energy blotted out the sky and bombarded Ling Xiao and Yun Mingqi. "Mingqi, take care of yourself. I'm going to kill them all," Ling Xiao whispered to Yun Mingqi. The golden dragon spear and the ice and fire swords appeared in his hands. He then dashed towards the energy balls in front of him. The energy attack of 70 to 80 incipient God Realm experts was enough to make any peak of the Supremes die. Even the famous existences on the Supreme list didn't dare to face it directly. However, Ling Xiao wasn't afraid. He released his Chaos World and blocked all the energy attacks in just a blink of an eye. Rumble! Rumble! The terrifying power could destroy everything and kill anyone. Even though Ling Xiao had used his Primal Chaos World to block the attack, he was still shaken to the point of dizziness. However, he was still able to block the attack. "With this Primal Chaos World, I can fight against the Eternal Divine Will Doppelganger. My strength has already reached the semi-eternal realm." Ling Xiao's confidence soared, and he brandished his spear and sword. His spirit power transformed into an invisible ice and fire sword that rushed towards their spirit sea of consciousness. His God Soul power had become extremely formidable. With the enhancement of the Dragon Phoenix Divine Hoop, he could kill any incipient God Realm expert below high level. The incipient God Realm experts of the Demon Tiger tribe screamed pathetically. Their God Souls were cut off, falling from the sky. This kind of inexplicable death caused many people to feel incomparable panic. A peak of incipient God Realm expert could barely resist Ling Xiao's soul attack. He immediately warned the others. He's using the God Soul attack. Don't let him come too close. Protect your God Soul. Join hands to kill him. If you have the guts, try again. Ling Xiao was like a dragon coming out of the sea. He shouted in fear. His primal chaos world condensed into a spear, extending from the golden dragon spear. It was like a 5-colored dragon roaring and swooping over 10,000 miles away. That peak of incipient God Realm expert tried his best to counter the attack. Shadows of ghosts came and tried to destroy this 5-colored dragon. However, the 5-colored dragon had primal chaos power, which was the most terrifying power in this world. It smashed those ghosts and shadows as easily as breaking dry weeds. The dragon head swallowed that peak of incipient God Realm expert. Arg! That peak of incipient God Realm expert screeched. His defense was like a piece of paper. His head exploded immediately. Ling Xiao was invincible, trying his best to kill everywhere. Shi Yan and Yun Mingqi had come to this heaven source territory to seize the chance when the eternal god of the demon tiger tribe was fighting with absolute beginning ancestor to come to the medicine union to save the others. He had only one chance. He had to seize it. Thus, he had tried his best right from the beginning. The primal chaos thunder dragon's lightning power was endless. Lightning energy filled the sky. The incipient god realm experts who hadn't reached the high level couldn't resist it. Blood-curdling screams rang out, and pools of blood exploded. In another direction, Yun Mingqi was sitting cross-legged on a black tortoise that looked like a mountain. She didn't need to take action or worry about being hurt. She just controlled the black tortoise to attack the warriors of the demon tiger tribe. In front of her was an incipient god realm expert who was controlling dozens of skeletons. Those skeletons couldn't resist the black tortoise's attack. They were smashed into powder immediately. The incipient god realm expert who was controlling the skeletons was scared. He shouted, "It is a top black tortoise. It's too terrifying. I can't stop it." The high-level incipient god realm expert hurriedly retreated. Although the black tortoise looked heavy and massive, its speed wasn't slow at all. The black tortoise used its tortoise body to hit the black tortoise. Immediately, he turned into a blood mist and died. "Husband, I can finally fight shoulder to shoulder with you. Today, let's kill to our heart's content." Yun Mingqi screamed excitedly. In the past, Ling Xiao had tried his best to catch up with her. However, after Ling Xiao found her, she had been trying her best to catch up with him. Although there was still a gap between her and Ling Xiao, with the help of the black tortoise, she could give Ling Xiao a helping hand. The black tortoise was as famous as the true dragon. Although it focused on defense, its attacking power was equally terrifying. The tortoise's tortoise mouth breathed. Waves of destructive water struck several incipient god realm experts until nothing was left. The true dragon soared and roared for 10,000 miles. The black tortoise breathed and struck the sky and earth with water. In just a short time, more than half of the demon tiger tribe's troops were killed. They were all scared out of their wits. Who would have thought that the other side only had 2 people with 2 peak-level divine beasts? In just a blink of an eye, they had suffered a great loss. It was a big blow to them. When they were about to scatter and run away, more than 10 people flashed out of the floating city. "Ling Xiao, you've got guts. You dare to invade our demon tiger tribe's territory? Today, you won't be able to leave." Zhang Onguang couldn't help but rush out of the hall and shout angrily. He knew that Ling Xiao's attacks were strange and unpredictable. Moreover, he had a primordial lightning dragon to help him. Zhang Onguang didn't dare to be careless. He immediately crushed a jade tube of life. Suddenly, the eternal god of the demon tiger tribe, Zhang Xiawang, appeared again. This jade tube had a wisp of Zhang Xiawang's powerful soul consciousness clone. He could easily kill any peak supreme being here. "Old ancestor, please kill this kid." Zhang Xiawang respectfully begged Zhang Xiawang. Zhang Xiawang glanced at Ling Xiao. His eyes flickered with a terrifying, ominous light. "It's you again, you stinking brat. Today, I'll kill you." Last time, Ling Xiao had come to the space of the demonic tiger clan to launch a sneak attack, which had caused the demonic tiger clan to suffer heavy losses. Now that they met again, he didn't hesitate anymore. He immediately launched his strongest attack at Ling Xiao. A black hole of demonic clouds appeared, and a powerful suction force enveloped Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao shouted at Yun Mingqi, "Mengqi, stay away from me. This is the eternal god's soul consciousness clone." After saying that, his primordial world energy transformed. A world shaped like a space. Many primordial world energy was mobilized by him, protecting him from the terrifying suction force. Another portion of the primordial world energy was swung by him with the golden dragon spear. A primordial true dragon rushed towards the black hole. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Terrifying forces intertwined with each other. Heaven shaking, earth-shattering energy spread out in all directions. Suddenly, a terrifying demonic palm slammed down from the sky, causing Ling Xiao's primordial world to cave in. Ling Xiao was sent flying far away. Fortunately, he was still able to withstand the impact. However, Zhang Xiawang didn't stop there. In the blink of an eye, he sent out several more palm strikes. Each palm strike was infused with the power of his divine sense. Ling Xiao merged with the primordial world. The primordial world revolved around him, tightly wrapping him up. He had no way to resist. He could only endure the attacks and wait for the divine sense clone to run out of energy. Ling Xiao had the protection of the primordial world. However, he still vomited blood and felt dizzy from the impact. Just a divine sense clone is enough to beat me to the point where I can't even fight back. Too terrifying. Ling Xiao cursed in his heart. Damn it! I can't kill you. But I can kill this little slut. Jiang Xiaowang's strength was greatly reduced. He unwillingly cried out and changed the direction of his demonic palm to Yun Mingqi. Ling Xiao was scared out of his wits. Yun Mingqi was one of his most important women. If she was killed, he would never forgive himself. No! Ling Xiao struggled and shouted. He wanted to block the attack, but it was impossible for him to match the eternal god's terrifying speed. Yun Mingqi was sitting on the black tortoise's back. She didn't even have time to react before the demonic palm struck her. Rumble. This was Jiang Xiaowang's clone's final attack. It wasn't much weaker than the previous one. A shocking explosion rang out, leaving behind a thick black fog. Yun Mingqi and the black tortoise were immediately sent flying far away. Mengqi! Ling Xiao was scared out of his wits. He shouted and rushed over. Jiang Xiaowang's clone's divine sense was also gradually disappearing. Ling Xiao's speed was unparalleled. In the blink of an eye, he caught up to Yun Mingqi and the black tortoise. That place had sunk into a huge pit, so deep that the bottom couldn't be seen. Ling Xiao's heart turned cold. Mengqi! Don't let anything happen to you. Ling Xiao was just about to jump into the hole. At this time, a deep roar came from below. An incomparably huge figure rushed up. The black tortoise's body was surrounded by a deep blue light of the 8 trigrams. Cracks appeared on the black tortoise's powerful protective aura, but it didn't collapse completely. The person inside was safe and sound. Chapter 17:18. The black tortoise was the divine beast with the strongest defense in this world. Yun Mengqi's peak-level black tortoise king's defense was naturally monstrous. No pinnacle supreme divine artifact could break through its defense. Even a full-powered attack from Jiang Xiaowang's divine sense clone couldn't completely destroy it. Ling Xiao was overjoyed and exclaimed, "Mengqi, are you all right?" Yun Mingqi paled as she sat on the black tortoise's back. She shook her head and said, "I'm okay. Grandpa Black Tortoise blocked that terrifying attack for me." Then, she screamed, "Husband, be careful. Behind you." However, at this moment, a beam of yin and yang energy attacked Ling Xiao's back. Ling Xiao focused on Yun Mingqi, so he didn't notice it. When he sensed it, the energy had arrived. Boom! After a loud explosion, Ling Xiao was blown away. "Husband!" Yun Mingqi screamed in fright. "Don't worry. I'm going to take you to see him." Jiang Anyang was riding on a black and white divine eagle. He sneered and knocked the divine bow in his hand again. This divine bow was special. It didn't need divine arrow feathers. It just needed God energy to create divine arrow feathers that could kill the enemy with one shot. This bow was called Arrowless Divine Bow. It was an ancient god weapon from the antiquity time. Jiang Angguang was lucky enough to get it. He had brought it back to this world. Even a peak supreme being would find it hard to block this arrow. Swoosh! Jiang Angguang shot another arrow with the yin-yang divine bow. This arrow was so powerful. It was like a meteor with light and dark energies twirling. It was filled with a terrifying destructive power. Before the arrow reached its target, the black tortoise let out a deafening roar, and a wave of water surged into the sky like a piece of explosive cloth, forcefully dispersing the arrow's power. The black tortoise is really intimidating. Jiang Angguang frowned. He and his divine hawk separated to attack the black tortoise. However, at this moment, the Chaos Lightning Dragon was attacking the other incipient God Realm experts. No one could stop it. Ling Xiao didn't suffer much damage after taking that arrow. At the most crucial moment, the power of primal chaos circulated and blocked his vitals. He originally wanted to go back and kill Jiang Angguang, but the most important thing now was to break the restrictions of the floating city and rescue Yan Dai Jiao and the others. Ling Xiao swallowed some divine pills to restore his strength. His primal chaos world condensed into a chaos dragon spear, and many rays of primal chaos radiated from it. Ling Xiao roared, "Break for me!" The chaos dragon spear transformed into a terrifying dragon shadow and charged towards the floating city. The power of this attack was comparable to the attack of Jiang Xiaowang's divine will doppelganger. The dragon shadow collided with the power of the restriction, creating a deafening sound that caused everyone in the floating city to panic. Many of the weaker ones coughed up blood and fell down. Shi Zongyang, Lian Haogong, Shuo Xinghong, and Yan Daijiao all ran out. What's going on? Did someone come to save us? Shi Zongyang frowned as he muttered to himself. Look, there are people in the sky, a dragon and a tortoise. They seem to be the legendary True Dragon Divine Beast and Black Tortoise Divine Beast. They really came to deal with the Devil Tiger race. We can take this chance to escape. Lian Haogong exclaimed. We can escape, but what about the others? Shuo Xinghong was in a difficult position. He paused for a moment before looking in a direction and exclaiming, It seems to be Ling Xiao, that brat. Yan Daijiao had already noticed the majestic figure that condensed into the Chaos Dragon Spear. I knew you would come sooner or later. Yan Daijiao's beautiful eyes rippled with tears as she muttered. After Ling Xiao attacked the restriction several times with the Chaos Dragon Spear, the restriction finally couldn't withstand it anymore and completely cracked. 3 palace masters. Daijiao, I'm here to save you. Ling Xiao shouted and charged down from the sky. Some of the Divine King Devil Tiger race members were frightened to the point of panic and ran in all directions. Ling Xiao coldly snorted and lightly pointed with his finger. Rays of finger light chased after those people. Extremely urgent. One by one, the Divine Kings shrieked miserably. In their direction, beautiful blood splattered everywhere. Not a single one of these Devil Tiger race members could escape from Ling Xiao's attack. Ling Xiao landed in front of Yan Daijiao and asked with concern, Daijiao has wronged you. Are you all right? Yan Daijiao hugged Ling Xiao without thinking and cried, I'm fine. I thought I would never see you again. She only had the strength of a divine king. Her power wasn't sealed, so everything was fine. It's fine as long as you're fine. Let's leave this place immediately. Ling Xiao didn't have time to comfort her and hurriedly said, he was afraid that the eternal God would immediately return. Then all his previous efforts would be in vain. Good boy. This time you saved me again. This old man is truly ashamed. Shi Zongyang said with a complicated expression on his face. Lian Haogong also said, Yeah, you brat really exceeded everyone's expectations. However, you took too much of a risk. It's not worth it for us old guys. Big brother, second brother, don't say anything. Let's go first. Shuo Xinhao said. 3 palace masters. I'll break the seal for you first. Ling Xiao said. His divine soul doppelganger appeared and immediately broke the seal for the 3 palace masters. However, when Ling Xiao came in contact with them, he was immediately sent flying by the seal. Ling Xiao, don't waste your time. This is the seal set by the eternal God. How can you break it? Shi Zongyang said in despair. Yeah, even if we escape to the ends of the sea, that eternal God can capture us back. He's too powerful. He's not what we can match. Lian Haogong also sighed and said. Shuo Xinghong still wanted to say something, but Ling Xiao said first, 3 palace masters don't need to worry. My clan's old ancestor also achieved the eternal throne. He can help you guys undo the seal. Now, you guys immediately gather the others. I'll bring you guys away immediately. The 3 great palace masters immediately revealed a look of joy when they heard this. Then, they immediately gathered the guild's alchemists who were still alive. The Devil Tiger race wanted alchemists to refine medicinal pills for them. Therefore, they didn't exterminate them. There were still many alchemists who could survive. When many alchemists learned that they were saved, each and every one of them revealed a look of joy. They were oppressed by the Devil Tiger race for more than a year until they had no human rights at all. Their arrogant personality in the past was completely obliterated. They only hoped that they could survive. That was better than anything. Ling Xiao didn't have time to explain to them one by one. He put all of them into the medicinal cauldron. And up in the sky, Jiang Onguang had already started to escape. The black tortoise was already not what he could deal with. Let alone there was still a Chaos Thunder Dragon. It made him incomparably desperate. He had already used all of his trump cards. but he couldn't kill Ling Xiao, let alone deal with Yun Mengqi. Hence, he rode on his divine eagle and escaped at the first moment. Yun Mengqi originally wanted to urge the black tortoise to chase after him, but she did not act impulsively. Saving people was still the top priority. Most of the other Devil Tiger race's incipient God Realm experts were dead. A small portion had already sneakily escaped, who said the other party was so powerful. Staying behind would only lead to death. If they did not escape, then when should they wait? They could only hope that their eternal god would return soon and reclaim this place again. Ling Xiao used the medicinal cauldron to put away most of the Medicine Alliance's people. Then, he let Yen Dai Jiao ride the Chaos Thunder Dragon with him and started to leave the Heaven Source region. Yun Mengqi also put away the Black Tortoise and rode together with them. In terms of speed, the Black Tortoise was still a notch weaker than the True Dragon Divine Beast. Right now, they had to leave at full speed. They could not wait for the other party's eternal god to return. If that happened, only death awaited them. The Chaos Thunder Dragon moved like the wind and left the Heaven Source region quickly. On the dragon's back, Yen Dai Jiao's attention wasn't on Ling Xiao. Instead, she was looking at Yun Mengqi. There was an indescribable meaning in her beautiful eyes. Yun Mengqi was also looking at Yen Dai Jiao, but her face was indifferent. She was already used to Ling Xiao having all kinds of women around him, so she was already used to it. Ling Xiao saw the two women looking at each other without saying anything, so he could only introduce them. You don't need to be like this. She's Mengqi and she's Dai Jiao. You're both my women. Both of you are equally important. Mengqi, you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. How could you be tricked by your husband? Ling Xiao broke the silence. Yen Dai Jiao was the first to speak. I've known him since we were young. It's hard to say who's tricking who. But you, Dai Jiao, are known as the #1 goddess of the Heaven Source region. You're already the most beautiful woman in the world. How could you fall in love with a playboy like him? Yun Mengqi smiled. Yen Dai Jiao rolled her eyes at Ling Xiao and revealed a flirtatious smile. Because I know that although he's a playboy, he values relationships. Otherwise, why would he risk his life to save me? Ling Xiao revealed an embarrassed expression. Haha. It's still Dai Jiao who understands me. Yun Mengqi also agreed. Perhaps this is our fate. He's our bane. You're wrong. I'm your guardian. Unless I'm dead, no one can hurt you. Ling Xiao said firmly as he held the two women in his arms. The two women felt warmth in their hearts. They buried their heads in his chest and deeply breathed in his aura. Now that the Devil Tiger race's eternal god has appeared, what should we do? Yen Dai Jiao sighed and then asked, Husband, can your race's eternal god deal with him? If it's just the Devil Tiger race's eternal god, it won't be a problem. The problem is, the Thunder race also seems to have an eternal god. The situation doesn't look good. Ling Xiao said with a worried expression. These two eternal gods were his mortal enemies, and the threat they posed to his race was simply too great. He felt as if there was a boulder pressing down on his heart. He couldn't relax. The boat will straighten itself out. At worst, we'll return to the Shenling continent and never be found, Yun Mengqi suggested. Chapter 1719. Ling Xiao brought Yun Mengqi and Yen Dai Jiao back to the Sky Dragon territory. No matter what happened between the three eternal realms, Ling Xiao had to go back and see what happened. He was not afraid of being misunderstood by his clansmen for running away, because those who knew him knew that he, Ling Xiao, was not a person who feared death. When he returned to the clan, the battle between the three eternal realms had already ended. When he learned of the agreement between the three eternal realms, he heaved a sigh of relief. The other side had two eternal gods in alliance. His ancestor, Ling Taichu, could do it, but it was too difficult to make the other side compromise. After all, the eternal god realm was different from other realms. The gap between the same realm would not be too big. No one was optimistic that Ling Taichu would be able to gain the upper hand against two eternal gods. Fortunately, the Kim people had the help of the Primordius Dragon, as well as a million-year aura divine artifact. Now, the heaven region had once again entered a stable state. For the time being, there was no need to worry about the demon tiger race attacking other territories again. Everyone in the world knew that this was because the Kim people had an eternal ancestor, which caused their worship of Ling Taichu to reach its peak. Many cities under the jurisdiction of the former Dragon Gate, and even Ling Taichu statues were erected in the center of the cities to worship him. The days returned to normal and the Heavenly Dragon Sect was rebuilt once again. Many people from the various factions in the Heavenly Dragon domain came to join the alliance. Thus, the Heavenly Dragon Sect and Heavenly Dragon City were rebuilt in a short period of time. Inside the Kim people's territory, several important members of the Kim people gathered together again. They discussed the next step of the plan. Now that they had temporarily put down their weapons of war with the demon tiger race for 100 years, they had to come up with some countermeasures. After some discussion, Ling Taichu decided to go to the Xianling continent with Ling Wudi to persuade Ling Hongyu to return. Thus, Ling Xiao took Ling Taichu and Ling Wudi with the identity of an insider. The others stayed in the clan for the time being, and the Primordius Dragon stayed behind as well, just in case. With a powerful existence like Ling Taichu, he used the power of metal to take Ling Xiao and Ling Wudi away, and rushed back to the Xianling continent as quickly as possible. The God of Eternity was omnipotent. His flying speed was truly unimaginable. Returning to the Xianling continent, Ling Xiao no longer felt that emotional. Over the years, he had gone through many trials and tribulations. His state of mind had long been tempered to a different state. Moreover, his family members were all in his medicine cauldron. There was not much that he cared about in the Xianling continent anymore. This continent is really extraordinary. There are actually divine beasts living here, and at the same time, there is a kind of ancient aura. What a pity! Ling Taichu sighed as soon as he landed on the Xianling continent. As an eternal god, he was naturally extremely sensitive to all sorts of things. Ling Wudi also said, "Our ancestors said that we came from the Xianling continent, and this is our homeland. If it weren't for the changes in the continent, we would have lived here forever. This is an ancient baron's continent, and it might have existed even longer than the Heaven Realm." Ling Xiao didn't say anything. He was just a junior, and some things were not his place to express his opinion. "Let's go. I should be able to sense where Uncle is," Ling Taichu said, and once again brought Ling Xiao and Ling Wudi in a direction. Ling Xiao thought to himself, as expected of the eternal god, Ancestor Hongyu is under the continent's enchantment, and even a pinnacle supreme martial artist can't sense him. Yet Ancestor Taichu has already found him. He is really powerful. Under the enchantment of the Xianling continent, a blurry, shriveled figure was consuming its own divine power to completely fill up the gaps in the enchantment. However, the loss of the enchantment's power was unstoppable, and the Xianling continent was already in the final stage of destruction. Fortunately, Ling Xiao had placed the metal, water, and fire source stones near Ling Hongyu, as well as the Water Dragon tribe and the Fire Qilan tribe's territory, so that the origin energy could be restored and the time of destruction could be extended. Ling Taichu and Ling Wudi were shocked to see Ling Hongyu in this state. "Uncle, Wudi and I are here to see you," Ling Taichu said after letting out a sigh. Ling Wudi even sobbed. "Old man, how are you?" Although he and his grandfather had quarreled and left the tribe for many years, his feelings for his grandfather were not something that outsiders could understand. You two unfilial descendants are finally willing to come back? How many years has it been?" Ling Hongyu said, a little emotional. His voice was very hoarse and weak, and his power was almost depleted. "Uncle, I am sorry. I have been looking for a breakthrough all these years, and I have finally taken that step." Although Ling Taichu was the eternal god, he still spoke very respectfully in front of Ling Hongyu. "Is that so? Then stay here forever and build up the foundation of our tribe. Don't think about going out all the time," Ling Hongyu said very weakly. "Old man, don't talk anymore. I will take the blood for you. Come out," Ling Wudi said as he immediately cut his wrist, and a lot of essence blood fell in Ling Hongyu's direction. The essence blood of a peak great perfection supreme fell like thunder, and it made a series of explosive sounds. Ling Hongyu did not stand on ceremony with Ling Wudi, and absorbed a lot of essence blood in an instant. In terms of bloodline power, Ling Wudi and Ling Hongyu were much closer. Ling Xiao could not be compared to them. When Ling Wudi wanted to take more essence blood, he was stopped by Ling Hongyu, who said, "That's enough. This is your compensation for leaving the tribe for so many years. Old man, can you come out by yourself? Otherwise, we will break this place and save you." Ling Wudi did not insist and said immediately, "I won't come out. This is our ancestors' land, and we can't destroy it." Ling Hongyu refused resolutely. "Old man, don't be so stubborn. Look at the situation now, and you are still thinking about the ancestors' land. The power here is losing, and the barrier has long been broken. Even if you have extraordinary divine strength, you can't maintain it. Hurry up and come out with me, or I will completely destroy this place." Ling Wudi persuaded. "How dare you? The ancestors' land can't be destroyed. You don't know anything." Ling Hongyu shouted angrily. "You don't know anything. Now that the eternal gods of the demonic tiger tribe and the thunder tribe have been born, our tribe was almost exterminated. If Uncle Taichu did not come back, there would be no Kim people left. What's the use of guarding the ancestors' land? Can you not be so stubborn?" Ling Wudi said impatiently. "What? How could this be?" Ling Hongyu was shocked. Ling Taichu spoke again. "Uncle, the current situation is very disadvantageous to us. Don't hold on any longer. I can use my power to maintain the barrier here for another 10,000 years without being destroyed. Let me save you first." Ling Hongyu did not reply for a long time. He seemed to be in a dilemma. "I didn't expect that the eternal gods that only appear once in a million years would appear one after another. Has the world really changed?" Ling Hongyu sighed. Then he asked Ling Xiao, "Boy, how many kinds of Genesis stones have you collected?" Ling Xiao replied respectfully, "I have collected 8 kinds of Genesis stones. Only the light Genesis stone is left." Ling Taichu and Ling Wudi looked at Ling Xiao in surprise. They didn't expect Ling Xiao to be so powerful that he could collect 8 kinds of the rarest Genesis stones. If other forces knew about this, they would come to rob and plunder crazily. 8 kinds? Good. Very good. Haha. Ling Hongyu shouted excitedly. He paused for a while and said to Ling Taichu, "Taichu, no matter what, you have to get me the light Genesis stone. Then, find a formation master who can deploy the Genesis formation. This way, Xianling continent can be revived and restored to its former glory. It's not difficult to get the light Genesis stone. I can just go to the light space. But now I have to save you." Ling Taichu replied. "No, you can't do that now." Ling Hongyu stopped him. Ling Wudi was a little annoyed. "What time is it now? Is the ancestral land more important than the lives of our people? No, you don't know why I want to do this. I have already touched the edge of that realm. If I can collect all 9 Genesis stones and deploy the Genesis formation, maybe I can take advantage of this opportunity to advance further. Anyway, with my current condition, I can't help you even if I am exhausted. Why don't I take the last gamble?" Ling Hongyu said. "Uncle, you really understand the mysteries of it?" Ling Taichu was a little excited. "Yes, I have stayed here for more than 2,000 years. Although I have suffered a lot, my state of mind has been trained and my understanding has become deeper. But now I still lack a chance, and this chance is when the 9 Genesis stones gather again, the day when the vitality of the continent is restored." Ling Hongyu replied. Ling Wudi and Ling Xiao were shocked. They had never thought that Ling Hongyu could have a chance to advance further in this desperate situation. This ancestor of theirs was already in the top 3 of the supreme list. He was absolutely at the peak of incipient god realm. Now, one more step and he would reach the eternal realm. If we, the Kim people, have 2 eternal realms, we will be able to dominate the entire area. Ling Wudi screamed in astonishment. "Don't daydream. We, the Kim people, only need to focus on developing the forces of our tribe. Leave those things to others." Ling Hongyu said bluntly. Ling Wudi curled his lips and wanted to say something, but he didn't say anything in the end. Ling Xiao took out the rest of the Genesis stones and handed them to Ling Taichu. Ancestor Taichu, I will give these to you first. I have another one here, and I will lend the other two to others. When I get the light Genesis stones, I will take them back. Ling Taichu was the strongest, so the Genesis stones were the safest in his hands. Ling Taichu also understood the importance of this matter, so he didn't delay and immediately put away all the Genesis stones. Then, Ling Taichu would go to the light space to take the light Genesis stones and collect all 9 kinds of Genesis stones. Chapter 1720. The light space was the land that the Winged Man tribe had occupied for a long time. Today, most of the land around here was occupied by the Winged Man tribe. Many supreme incipient God realm experts had been baptized by the so-called Light Light, which made them the most loyal followers of the Winged Man tribe. For the time being, the Winged Man tribe had started to nibble away at the territories of the Eastfield Road. They wanted to unify the outer space. Some supreme incipient God realm experts were lucky enough to escape the baptism. Now, they knew that the Winged Man tribe had someone who had become the eternal God. The other party could sweep through the outer realms all by himself. Many forces didn't even have the courage to resist. They surrendered immediately. As the overlord of the Eastfield Road, the Cyan Wind Alliance also felt a great pressure. They summoned back many supreme incipient God realm experts and didn't let them go out easily. Inside the main hall of the Cyan Wind Alliance, Feng Qingyang, Ning Qingang, Feng Lanling, Lu Piapiao, and the other deputy chiefs were waiting. One of the deputy chiefs frowned and said, "The Winged Man tribe is very close to our territory. If they want us to surrender, what should we do?" "Humph, the Winged Man tribe doesn't have that ability. Even if they have the eternal God, we can subdue them if we join hands." Another deputy snorted. "You don't understand. The eternal God is invincible. No matter how many of us we have, we can't do anything to him." Ning Qingang sighed. "Old Ning, don't boost their morale and belittle our own." A deputy chief said discontentedly. "Qingang is telling the truth. We don't have the power to challenge them." Feng Qingyang agreed with Ning Qingang. All of a sudden, the expressions of everyone present turned rather ugly. The Cyan Wind Alliance was a force they had operated for many years. If they were weak, they wouldn't be able to bear the fact that they were easily conquered. But you don't have to worry. They have the eternal God and so do we. Our Cyan Wind Alliance can't destroy them. Feng Qingyang smiled calmly. At this moment, everyone's expressions changed. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. "Hegemon, have you reached that step?" someone asked in surprise. Feng Qingyang shook his head and said, "I don't have that kind of power yet, but he is also one of us, Feng Qingyang. He will be here soon." Right at this moment, a supreme incipient God realm expert hurriedly barged into the hall. "Hegemon, deputy hegemons, a large group of people called the Servants of Light has come to our Cyan Wind League's territory. Are they finally here? Then let's go out and meet them." Feng Qingyang's expression changed slightly. He didn't expect the Winged Clan's attack to be so swift. They had already killed their way here. "Alliance Master, where is our eternal God? Hurry and invite him out," someone said. "Let's kill the enemy first. He'll show up," Feng Qingyang said as he turned into a gust of green wind and flew out of the palace. The others didn't dare to hesitate any longer and rushed out of the hall. Hundreds of incipient God realm experts wearing white warrior suits had descended from the sky. They were riding different kinds of holy beasts. They looked like heavenly soldiers with an intimidating aura. Each of them had a mark on their foreheads that looked like a sun or a full moon, releasing a vast and holy aura. These people were completely enslaved by the Winged Clan. They had become their puppets. In front of these people, 10 supreme experts of the Winged Clan were looking down. These Winged Clan people had pure white wings on their backs and holy halos behind their heads. The men were handsome and the women were beautiful. They looked like angels descending from the heavens. Feng Qingyang took the lead, leading hundreds of incipient God Realm experts of the Cyan Wind League to welcome them. "Friends of the Winged Clan, what do you want?" Feng Qingyang asked in a low voice. "We are the emissaries of the God Clan. Are you willing to submit to the God Clan and become the servants of the Great Light God Clan?" said a Winged Clan expert at the peak of Supreme Expert Realm. What God Clan? Our Cyan Wind League will never submit to you or become your puppets. If you know what's good for you, get lost. Otherwise, don't blame us for being impolite." Ning Qinggang snorted coldly. Feng Qingyang also said, "That's right. Our Cyan Wind League has been independent for a long time. We won't submit to anyone. You guys should leave. If so, you will be punished by the servants of the Light Clan. The light of our God Clan will purify you," the peak of Supreme Expert said faintly. Then he waved his arm. Many incipient God Realm experts behind him took action at the same time. Countless energies descended from the sky as if they wanted to drown and destroy this land entirely. "Kill them all!" Feng Qingyang roared indignantly, slashing with the green wind divine sword in his hand. All the incipient God Realm experts of the Cyan Wind League counterattacked at the same time. Five-colored energy surged furiously. Two waves of energy collided with each other, creating a vast sea of energy that exploded. Boom! Boom, 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 boom. Almost 1,000 incipient God Realm experts attacked at the same time. No one knew how to describe this kind of battle wave. The terrifying energy shook the entire land. The people living in this area were scared out of their wits. Countless remnant energy waves fell and blasted many places into deep pits. Many humans and beasts were affected. In just a blink of an eye, countless people were injured or killed. Screams and screams filled the entire area. This was the reason why the Heaven Territory forbade the incipient God Realm experts from fighting in the sky of the land territory. The disaster that this land had suffered was the best proof. Feng Qingyang was once one of the top 10 existences on the supreme ranking list of heavenly regions. Countless years had passed, and his strength had reached the pinnacle. He turned into millions of green gusts of wind, and each of them contained boundless killing intent. Each green blade was like a scythe that reaped human lives, killing many puppets of the winged men race. The other vice-hegemons were also at the peak of supreme experts. Their competence was quite amazing. They cooperated well with each other and blocked the 10 puppets of the Winged Men clan. The leader of the Winged Clan revealed a look of disdain and said, "You will be punished by our God of Light for not being able to see clearly." As soon as he finished speaking, he shattered a jade tube, and a wisp of dense and dazzling radiance instantly enveloped this expanse of the heavens and the earth. All of a sudden, an exceptionally beautiful man appeared in the sky. He had a pair of long and slender white wings on his back. Each of his white feathers was crystal clear and radiated a holy radiance. This winged man was the eternal god of the Winged Men clan. At this moment, this figure was just his divine consciousness clone. He looked down from the sky. An aura that bemoaned the state of the universe and pitted the fate of mankind pressed down, suffocating people. At the same time, it gave them a feeling of being comforted and made them want to worship him. "My people, why did you summon the greatest god of light?" the beautiful man asked quietly. His voice flowed out like a divine rune, causing the winged people and the puppets around him to reveal expressions of extreme sincerity. "Great God of light, these lowly humans aren't willing to submit to our God clan. We specially invite the God of Light to come out and enlighten them so that they will submit to our clan." A winged man kneeled down on one knee and said loyally. The people behind him also kneeled down as if they were meeting the God of Light. "Oh, I see," the beautiful man answered with a faint smile. Then, he looked at Feng Qingyang and the others and said calmly, "You don't want to submit to our God clan?" He didn't release any aura. It was just like a normal question. However, his words went straight to people's hearts. It created a bewitching power that made the people of the Qingfeng Alliance want to submit to him immediately. Some weaker supreme experts and incipient God Realm experts bowed down as they wanted to submit to him. Feng Qingyang recognized the other's strength. He gritted his teeth and said, "You're not the only eternal god. Then he squeezed the jade tube in his hand. Instantly, gold light sparkled. Flows of murderous gold energy shot up into the sky. A flow of overbearing energy descended from the sky. Eventually, an extremely domineering young man appeared in front of the crowd. Surprisingly, he was the eternal god of the Kim people, Ling Taichu. Ling Taichu and Feng Qingyang used to build the Qingfeng alliance. Naturally, the relationship between Ling Taichu and Feng Qingyang wasn't ordinary. When Ling Taichu returned from the faraway outer realm, he had first paid a visit to the Qingfeng alliance to meet with Feng Qingyang and Ning Qinfu. He had also left a clone of his divine will behind in case of emergency, and now was the time to put it to good use. We really have the eternal god. That's great. A deputy of the Qingfeng alliance screamed in joy. That's Boss Taichu. Before you guys joined the alliance, he and the hegemon had built the Qingfeng alliance. He has become the eternal god. Ning Qingang said excitedly. In his heart, Ling Taichu's position was much higher than Feng Qingyang's. The other members of the Qingfeng alliance looked as if they had seen the dawn. Their eyes were filled with hope. They thought that they were doomed this time. They didn't expect that there would be a light at the end of the tunnel. Unexpectedly, their alliance also had a hidden expert who surpassed everything. The bewitching man's eyes narrowed. He stared at Ling Taichu and said, I've sensed the changes in the world. I'm not the only light pontiff who has descended. It seems that you're one of them. Ling Taichu stared at the bewitching man and said in surprise, Winged pontiff, so you've also reached the eternal realm. After a pause, he said, You guys should leave. With me here, you won't be able to take advantage of us. I'll find you soon. Oh? Are you that confident that you can defeat me? The bewitching man was surprised. No. I just want to borrow a light attribute Genesis stone from your clan. Ling Taichu shook his head and said, So you want the light stone, but you'll have to defeat me first. The bewitching man responded and suddenly attacked. A beam of divine light shone. The divine light was so bright that no one could open their eyes. Balls of purifying energy poured onto Ling Taichu and the others. Staying here will only bring disaster to others. Get out. Ling Taichu shouted. Immediately, thousands of golden rays appeared and blocked the opponent's light energy. At the same time, he forced everyone out of the land. Chapter 17:21. The handsome man's name was Oslo. He was the pontiff of the Winged Men tribe for more than 10 generations. After he had broken through to the eternal realm, he had regained his youth. His fighting competence had reached an unbelievable level. If he didn't have only one soul consciousness clone here, the blue moon space would have been destroyed. Moreover, Ling Taichu's appearance here was a big surprise to the Winged Men tribe. Although Ling Taichu and Oslo were soul consciousness clones, their fighting power wasn't something that the incipient God realm experts could imagine. Fortunately, their battle couldn't last for a long time. They couldn't decide the winner. When their energy was consumed, they would vanish. Before Oslo disappeared, he shouted, My people, retreat for now. I'll come back to convert them in the future. Old lunatic. I'll be in the blue moon space soon. You guys don't need to worry. Ling Taichu also left. Then he disappeared from this world. Just like that, the curtains fell on this supreme being battle of 1,000 people. The warriors of the Cyan Wind League calmed down. With the eternal god's protection, they couldn't die even if they wanted to. At this moment, in a faraway space, Ling Taichu finally brought Ling Wudi and Ling Xiao to this place. Is this the sign of chaos in the world? The Winged Men tribe also has an eternal god. I wonder if the other forces will have eternal gods too. Ling Taichu said with a grimace. How could it be like this? Isn't that step hard to comprehend and cross? Ling Wudi said absent-mindedly. For so many years, he had been chasing after this realm. He thought that his innate talents were superior. However, one by one, the others had become eternal gods. His confidence had been smashed to pieces. To cross that step, the most important thing is to put yourself in a dead end. It's a life or death situation. As long as you fuse with your own space energy, you can do it. When you choose to cross that step, you have to forget about life and death. You can't have any distracting thoughts. Otherwise, you will die. Ling Taichu said. Forget about life and death and have no distracting thoughts. Who can do that? Ling Wudi sighed. Ling Xiao was also mulling over these words. In his heart, he also felt that it was too difficult to achieve. Who wasn't afraid of death? Even gods were afraid of falling. Who didn't have any distracting thoughts? Everyone had wives, concubines, children, relatives, and friends. They were all people he cared about. Who could easily let go of them? I have too many worries. I'm afraid it will be difficult for me to reach that step. Ling Xiao sighed silently in his heart. Ling Taichu's speed could be said to be as fast as lightning. He shuttled back and forth in the outer domain, seemingly ignoring any spatial turbulence. He turned into a wave of golden fiendish qi, protecting Ling Wudi and Ling Xiao within it. At the same time, the two of them could feel the source of the golden fiendish qi, which could make their strength even stronger. It didn't take long for Ling Taichu to bring the two to the blue moon space. Taichu, big brother! Feng Qingyang and Ning Chenggang exclaimed excitedly. Ling Taichu nodded to them and briefly introduced Ling Wudi and Ling Xiao. Haha, we've known this kid for a long time. You don't have to introduce him. Feng Qingyang pointed at Ling Xiao and laughed. Greetings, Senior Feng. Elder Ning. Ling Xiao stepped forward and bowed to the two of them. Good. It's only been a few decades and you've grown to this stage. Congratulations. Feng Qingyang praised with a smile. After a few words of farewell, Ling Xiao went to spend some time alone with a beauty beside him. Lu Piapiao was once the most beautiful woman in the Sky Dragon domain. Her appearance hadn't changed and she was still as beautiful as ever. Her mature charm would make any man's fingers itch. Her willow-green hair fluttered in the wind. A faint fragrance floated in the air, and her skin was crystal clear. Ling Xiao couldn't help but put his arm around her slender waist and sniff the scent that he hadn't felt for a long time. You've suffered all these years, Ling Xiao said tenderly. All these years, he had traveled all over the place and never had the time to return to see Lu Piapiao. Naturally, he felt extremely guilty. Lu Piapiao gently leaned on Ling Xiao's shoulder and said, As long as I'm in your heart, I don't feel anything. After a pause, she said, You must have suffered all these years. Have you gathered all the Genesis stones? Lu Piapiao already knew what Ling Xiao wanted to do. It was undoubtedly a very difficult task to gather all the Genesis stones. Ling Xiao shook his head and said, I'm used to this kind of life. I can become stronger between life and death. As for the Genesis stones, I'm missing the light attribute. As long as I find it, I'll be able to gather all of them. This time, we're here for the light attribute Genesis stone. Are you guys thinking about the light space? They have the eternal God. Lu Piapiao said nervously. Ling Xiao smiled and said, They have the eternal God and so do we. This is no longer a problem. That's true. I hope everything goes well for you. Lu Piapiao wished them well. Well, when everything is settled, you can live with me. At that time, I won't have to run around all the time. I can live a good life with you guys. Ling Xiao said. All these years of wandering between life and death made him feel disgusted. He wanted to settle down and have a good rest. He wanted to enjoy the true taste of his vow to rule the world when awake and lie on the knees of a beautiful woman when drunk. Well, it's up to you. Lu Piapiao replied softly. All these years, Lu Piapiao had suffered enough of lovesickness. She also hoped to stay with Ling Xiao quietly for a few more days. Ling Taichu did not stay with Feng Qingyang and the others for long. He summoned Ling Xiao and Ling Wudi and said, I can go and get the light attribute Genesis stone alone. I'm afraid you guys won't be of much help. You all stay here. Let's do as you say. Ling Wudi thought for a while and replied. Ling Xiao objected. No, I think we should go together. Ling Taichu glanced at Ling Xiao and said, You want to take advantage of the situation again? But you have to know that the space of light is the territory of the winged men race. There are many experts there. What can you do if you go in alone? As long as Ancestor Taichu can hold off the Eternal God, I'm sure I can get the Genesis Stone. Ling Xiao said confidently. He was already very compatible with the chaotic world. He could even resist the Eternal God's divine sense doppelganger. He was absolutely confident that he could break into the space of light. Ling Wudi changed his mind and said, "That's right. Those birdmen know that you want to go and get the Genesis Stone. They will definitely try their best to stop you. We can wait for an opportunity to act. Even if I can hold off the Eternal God, you guys may not be able to get the Genesis Stone." Ling Taichu said. Ling Taichu's worry was not without reason. The winged men race was an ancient race and naturally had a strong foundation. How could the two of them pull the teeth out of the tiger's mouth? Ancestor Taichu, I only need to control one of their Pope-level birdmen. I'm sure we can get the Genesis Stone safely. Ling Xiao replied again. Ling Taichu's eyes flashed. He glanced at the dragon phoenix divine hoop on Ling Xiao's forehead and hesitated for a moment before saying, "In that case, be careful. Don't force yourself." Ling Taichu then led Ling Xiao and Ling Wudi towards the space of light. The space of light was deep in the East Realm Road, but with Ling Taichu's full speed, it didn't take long for them to appear in front of him. This was a terrestrial space that emitted a dazzling brilliance. The rich light attribute space made people who cultivated the light attribute feel incomparably comfortable, and the speed at which they could accumulate energy doubled. Just as Ling Taichu teleported to this place, a voice rang out, "I've been waiting for you for a long time. I didn't think you would dare to come." In an instant, tens of thousands of holy white lights flashed and a large number of wings flapped. The strange space formed by the wings blocked Ling Taichu's space of light. The two spaces confronted each other. If a foreigner passed by, they wouldn't doubt that this was a frightening image created by someone. Ling Taichu's real body flashed, and he stood with his hands clasped behind his back like a golden god of war. He looked at Oslo, who was in the space of light, and said, "My race once asked you to exchange for the light attribute Genesis Stone. It's fine if you didn't want it, but you killed my descendant. Today you can offer me a light attribute Genesis Stone and we'll write it off. What do you think?" Now that the Demon Tiger race and the Thunder race had eternal gods, Ling Taichu really didn't want to shed all pretense of cordiality with the Winged Men race. It would be best if they could negotiate peacefully so that the pressure on them would lessen. "Haha, my god race is about to rule the world. You lowly humans have been killed. What's there to worry about? If you want to take my stone of light, you'll have to get through me first." Oslo laughed crazily. A ferocious expression appeared on his monstrous face. His wings flapped rapidly, and countless feathers turned into thousands of feather swords that shot towards Ling Taichu. Ling Taichu snorted coldly. His divine energy manifested, and countless golden fiendish auras turned into golden dragon spear shadows that shot towards Oslo. At this moment, the two spatial powers exploded. The terrifying collision was like a natural disaster at the end of the world. The sky was turbulent, and the peerless space collided, creating dazzling sparks. Fortunately, Oslo intercepted Ling Taichu in advance. Otherwise, the space of light would have been destroyed by the aftermath. One gold and one white, both filled with destructive power. The space within 1,000,000 miles was completely destroyed by these two destructive powers. While they were fighting, Ling Xiao and Ling Wudi had already used their extreme speed to rush towards the space of light. "Patriarch Wudi, we only need to lure the Winged Men race's supreme pontiff out. Then we can capture one of them," Ling Xiao reminded. "All right, as long as you're confident," Ling Wudi replied. The two of them took the opportunity to enter the space of light and immediately sensed that there were many Winged Men race's supreme masters guarding nearby. "Who dares to approach our god race?" A supreme pontiff of the Winged Men race immediately sensed Ling Xiao and Ling Wudi's presence. The Winged Men race knew that when their eternal god was fighting, there would definitely be people who wanted to take advantage of the situation. Therefore, they had already sent many people to wait outside. As expected, they guessed correctly. There were foreign enemies taking advantage of the situation to attack. However, they found it strange that there were only 2 people from the other side. They really looked down on the winged men race. You're tuning in to the Legend of the Vagabond YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.